Well, hello everyone. John Hendricks here of Second and Saints. Ross Jackson will be joining me here soon enough. Obviously, you can catch me on Saints News Network too. But doing a live watch along stream with the game tonight. Just a little bit different. Christmas time is really close. The Saints obviously aren't doing that well. Didn't make the trip out to Green Bay, so one of the first road games I miss in a while. But the FOMO will be there, I guess, a little bit. But at the same time, you guys know what's going on right now with this team, right? I think it's a bittersweet pill that their season ended with the Falcons winning against the Giants, and now they can kind of focus a little bit more on what actually needs to be done going forward in this offseason. And so I think when you look at everything that happens here, look, it behooves the Saints to figure this thing out, right? I wrote a really detailed piece on Saints News Network that some of the things that the Saints have to learn, some lessons that this team has to learn about themselves going forward, just to be able to figure things out going forward. I mean, you look at how this season is shaped out. I don't think you can blame everything on the injuries. I don't think that's fair, right? Because one of the things I put on there is this was a problem back in training camp, right? Like the soft tissue injuries were a problem in training camp. And so one of the things that I pointed out was, okay, I didn't think that was by chance, right? Like we saw a bunch of the players get hurt in training camp. And then when you get into the actual season, it took them until November to introduce this activation period. Like, come on, that just doesn't, that's being more reactive instead of proactive there. And so I don't like the fact that if you sit behind injuries or anything like that, that doesn't sit well with me, right? Like, and I don't think it should sit well with you either. I mean, this is a reason why they hired Matt Rhea in the first place, right? To cut down on the soft tissue injuries. The fact that you add an activation period just to make sure that you don't have these soft tissue injuries. I mean, that just seems like football 101. So I think that's one of the things. And if for those who are probably checking me out on TikTok, I don't know, I'm trying that out for a little bit too. It says my microphone's muted, but I don't know. But we'll find out. Anyways, I'll figure that out soon enough. But I think that was one of the first things is you got to be honest with yourself and say that you can't blame this on just the injuries, right? Like this season was disappointing. It was lost. Injuries are part of the game. But look at the Rams. Like the Rams were a team that were able to navigate the injuries, right? Like they were able to weather that storm early on, and then they have depth, right? Like I mean, that's the thing that this team has to deal with, right? And so again, it's not fun. It's not a fun conversation. But you're 4 years removed from the playoffs. Like what needs to register here for this team to figure out what needs to be done differently, right? And so I think for this, if I'm looking at the Saints, you got to have some tough conversations. You have to figure out what needs to be done going forward. I think you have to figure out, where this all goes in the offseason. This could be a completely new coaching staff. This could be a very new coaching staff. It just depends because if you go with a new head coach, you're going to bring in your guys, right? And so I don't know who's going to survive the purge, so to speak. And I think they're going to be waiting on this, be patient a little bit. I'm going to pull up my exact quote because this is something I said on Saints News Network. If you don't go on there, it's si.com/NFL/Saints. So one of the things that I wrote on there was just kind of saying, just being honest. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what needs to happen with this team is you got to be honest with yourselves, right? And look at yourselves in the mirror. And so the injuries weren't their only problem. They have to get better at playing complete games. Like look at the one-score games. If they win half of those one-score games, it's a completely different thing, right? Like this is different, but that falls on good coaching. That falls on being able to play 4 quarters of football, right? There's so many different things and elements here that have to go right for this team. And I've said this over the years, they're not a team that can win if they don't have everything go right. And a lot of that, I think, falls on coaching. It falls on game plan. It falls on execution. I mean, there's a variety of ways that kind of has to go. And I said everything has to be on the table in this offseason, right? I think that you look at it 4 years without the playoffs. Come on. You know what I mean? Like you're flirting with 2001 to 2005 territory. That's scary. That is very scary to think about. And that it's not okay. It's not acceptable, right? Like, and I get it. Some fans who've watch this team back in the 60s, the 70s, or even the 80s when they were doing pretty good, or the 90s, late 90s, especially when they were trash heap. You know what I mean? Like there's just so many different things that go on here, and it's just not acceptable. I mean, you looked at how the Saints in 2014 to 2016, they went the 3 straight 7-9 years. Everybody talked about Sean Payton losing his job, but what happened in 2017 and what happened in this? They made the changes. He got rid of the Saints. Sean Payton got rid of a familiarity coaches that he was familiar with, and he hired new blood and brought new blood in here. And look what happened. They had a really good draft class. They did all the things, and so you can't get complacent here, right? I think that's another thing. And so, look, when Dennis Allen was hired on, we were promised continuity. They didn't get continuity. They got a lot of things that just didn't happen. And, again, you can't sit here and say he was their guy in hindsight now, right? Like, yeah, they got some cool things, but how many winning teams did they actually beat? You know what I mean? Like, it's the thing is you can't put yourself in the fool's gold and say, well, you can beat up on these lowly teams, and then when it comes to the hard games, the games that matter, that you just don't show up in. And I just, come on, let's just be real with each other. Ross should be here in about 6 minutes, but again, and I haven't even really talked about the Packers game. I'm just kind of talking about this season because it's a lost season. Everybody knows that. Like the 2-0 fool's gold, obviously that's very disappointing. But this is the quote I was talking about because I said this on radio, and I just am being completely honest and transparent, covering this team for over 10 years, being around there. This is what I think is, I said, you cannot just look at how this team has gone for 4 years and just sit here and say that you think you're close. I don't think the close argument is there. I think that you're in a bad division and you're trying to convince yourself that you can compete in this bad division. And look where it's kind of got you. It's not changed anything for the team. And then that's why I say I think the offseason strategy has got to change a little bit here. I think that you got to look at everything on the table, and I mean legitimately look at everything. Do you have the right people in the building? Do you have the right person leading the charge? Do you have the right talent makeup? Are your draft picks, are they busts? Are you going to move on from them and just cut the ties and admit that you were wrong or you didn't get it right? Or are you going to hang on to them and hope that they develop? I mean, you look at all these things. Somebody says, and Rose says in the comments, clothes only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. That's one of the things that I remember. But, you look at the talent that has left this team, and I get it. It's hindsight. Zach Bond, balling. That was always a situation where, and I said this, I wrote this, a 3-4 team was going to make him look like a superstar. The Saints weren't a 3-4 team. They didn't have the way to use Bond. And when they figured out how to do it, it was too late. Caden Ellis, another example. I knew Caden Ellis was a great linebacker. He was an awesome dude in the locker room for starters. I knew he had the talent, but he went into a role at Atlanta where he had more of a spotlight. Trey Hendrickson, I mean, come on, guys. Everybody knows that one, right? They opted to keep Marcus Davenport there. They should have kept Trey Hendrickson. I mean, again, it's hindsight, right? And you look at other decisions that have been made. I mean, it happens, and I think that you just got to be honest with yourself and figure out, are these guys the right ones to move with? And if you're going to sit here and say, well, they should just tear it down and rebuild, they can't do that. Financially, they cannot just say, I'm going to cut everybody and we're just going to go with the youth movement, because they're going to be in the dead money category, and they're going to have to figure some things out. Like they got to make a decision on what's going to be with Derek Carr. We've said it on this program that we believe that Derek probably is going to be the quarterback for 2025. But again, it depends on the new coach. It depends on the direction they want to go. Does Derek want to stay here? I mean, there's all sorts of things that are on the table, but I don't know. I think that when you look at how the Saints team is gone, again, another year without the playoffs, 4 straight years, you got to have the offseason. Like you got to hit your offseason, right? Like you got to get the right hired coach. And I don't expect marked improvement next year, right? Like, let's face it, the NFC South is not good, right? And that's, again, like I said before, they're trying to convince themselves that they can compete in this bad division, but you can't. And the thing about the salary cap and everything else that happens, it's great when it works, but it hasn't worked. Like, it's great that you can get under the salary cap every year. National media blows it up. They put them on blast, all this other good stuff, but it hasn't worked. You're still not in the playoffs. You're still not where you need to be. And so I think that's a real thing that you got to look at yourselves in the mirror and say, okay, well, Is this the right attitude? Is this what we need to do? Is continue to put on these void years and kind of do this type of contract thing, or do you just move on and go with the youth movement? And I think they got to hit this draft right. I think you look at this year's draft, a lot of the players, like I think for between Brian Brzee and Taliesin Fuanga, I think they've nailed their past 2 first-round picks. Now, I think Brian Brzee's got some more growing up to do, and he knows that, right? But he's showing very big promise. I mean, he leads the team in sacks. What's not to like about that, obviously, but I think he needs some help in there in the trenches. I mean, this is a team that believes in building from the trenches within. So, do they do that? Do they stick with that, or do you go with something different? We've seen this year it's Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, and then after that, and again, that's no disrespect to the other receivers or anything like that, but you need a legitimate another playmaker there. And so I think when you look at the arguments for potentially another, receiver in the first round, I think that's something I would definitely flirt with. You know what I mean? And so, look, again, just talking about this season, lost season, another one, 4 years in a row. Again, you want to change some things. You want to stop teams from taking over your Superdome and just do all this other stuff. You got to do something different. Look at yourself in the mirror, be honest with yourself, and I don't know if that's going to happen, right? Like, I just feel like they're in this window right now where next year, 2025, that is, they're going to be, it's presumably going to be like Cam, DeMario, and Tyron's last year. Like, one of them might stick around after that, but let's just face it, this might be the last year with Cam, DeMario, and Tyron, at least all 3 of them on the team. And it's just crazy, just talking about Cam, like, he looks like a completely different player. It makes you wonder, why was he even getting 10 snaps to begin with, right? And maybe he's got the juice in the tank. I don't know. That's just really bizarre in itself. And so, you got to figure these things out. You got to look at how this team has been ran and how it's performed, and it's not performing. It's underperforming, right? And is Darren Rizzi the answer? I don't know. If he beats Green Bay tonight, I think I'd be more of a believer. But let's just be real. They beat Cleveland, they beat the Giants, and they beat the Falcons. So are they saying, okay, they've beaten the teams that probably could have beat and should have beat? I mean, the Falcons were arguably the best team that they had there. And that started more with Kirk Cousins and his slide and everything right there. But, look, what team? Like, they couldn't beat the Rams. I get it. They were close. You didn't beat the Commanders. I get it. You didn't beat them. You were close, but close doesn't count. You're still what your record says you are, right? And so it's almost an seemingly impossible task tonight for them to, when they play the Packers, right? And so they're 14-point underdogs. Spencer Rattler's playing. He's making his first start since week 8. No Alvin Kamara in this one. That groin injury was more significant than they thought at first. No Derek Carr starting here. No Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He had the illness. It was a flu bug that's been going around, but he also had the back injury. So he's not playing, but he didn't make the trip. Nathan Shepard had a late injury with his eye. He was questionable about, right about 15 minutes to 5 Central Time, that is. And then he doesn't play. No Christian Boyd tonight. They get Tano back in the lineup. So it's a little bit the deck stacked against him, right? Kendre Miller is going to be leading the charges for the backs. It's going to be a committee approach. Him, Jamal Williams, Jordan Mims. But receivers, it's Cedric Wilson Jr. You got Dante Pettis, Kevin Austin Jr., and Mason Tipton. Now, the Tipton and Rattler connection during training camp was strong. I don't know if that's going to happen again tonight. You got to have that offensive line and try to ride them a little bit. And look, we like I said, this is going to be a live stream play-by-play. So I've got the game up here. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. And so I might be ahead of you. There's a very big possibility I'm ahead of you on your stream and all this other stuff. But let's just be real. The Saints probably aren't going to win this game, but I'm very interested to see how Spencer Rattler does tonight, right? Because the guy that was in there in week 8 and it started those 3 games opposed to where he's at now, completely different, in my opinion. Now, does he have all these tools and toys at his disposal? He really doesn't, but I think this is a time where you lean on guys like Juwan, guys like Foster Moreau, get the screen game going. You got to get him comfortable early on. I think that's one of the things they missed last week with Jake Haener. They did not get him comfortable early on, and it showed. Like, it wasn't was tough to watch, right? And I think that just kind of sums up this team for the past several years has just been tough to watch, right? And look, we've covered plenty of good times, right? And unfortunately, those good times don't last. And, with Sean moving on and going to Denver and all that stuff, eventually it's just been a struggle bus for this team. And I don't know if anything's going to actually change here. I think a lot of pressure is on Mickey Loomis, obviously. People are wondering if he's going to be the one that leads this next charge. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't know. I can't definitively say that he is. I can't definitively say that he isn't going to be the guy that leads this charge. And so it's interesting. Again, I just think the Saints are a fascinating team, even though they're not particularly good this year. And even though we thought they'd be good, look, you talk to anybody that was at training camp out in California, what we saw was going to be really good. And again, week 1 against the Panthers, I didn't care, right? Like they put up 40 points. You knew you were going to beat up on the Panthers. Dallas, that was more impressive, right? Because Dallas was supposed to be this big contender. And as the season progressed, look at where Dallas ended up being, right? Like they weren't good. They weren't really as good as everybody thought they were going to be, which is not a surprise either. But, look at their wins this year. You got 5 of them. Look at the teams you beat. You know what I mean? Like you're still in the same boat where you really haven't beat a good team. And I think that's been the problem for the Saints for a while is they can beat up on these bad teams. They can make them look really good. But when it comes to playing those games that count, where are you? You know what I mean? And so I think a lot of that's going to fall on coaching. A lot of that's going to fall on a strong game plan, all this other good stuff. And so, it just remains to be seen. But I'm excited to see how this goes. If you guys have any questions, by all means, drop them in here. Ross should be joining me here soon. And so at any rate, we're going to be watching the game here. Probably going to be doing the same thing for the Bucks game. Again, with them out of the playoffs, there's stuff to cover, but obviously, you're looking at it. We're going to put up the scoreboard, like the official stats. And so one of the reasons why Ross and I have done this too is so you kind of get a little bit of behind the scenes look for 2 guys that recover this team, reporters that, what we're looking at during the game, what we see during the game, how we kind of work too. So, we might actually sometimes might be, not that we're not going to be talking or anything like that, but, stuff's going on. Got to write. We got to cover this game too. So we're trying, we're biting off probably a little bit more than we could chew, but I think it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Right now we're about, 9 minutes to game time. And so I really want to know what this team's going to do. And again, are they going to win? Probably not. Would do it. What I am looking for is, can Spencer Rattler change things up a little bit here? Can he show some marked improvement here for this team? And, I think it's a huge evaluation for him. It's a huge evaluation for Darren Rizzi. Again, if he comes in here and somehow upsets the Packers, who, oh, by the way, if they win tonight, they get the playoff spot. So I think that's obviously something that they're playing for. We're going to find out what kind of team and what kind of prep is going on. But, I don't want to sit here and say that these players have checked out or anything. I don't buy that. But at the same time, it's a thing. And Ross Jackson has just joined. And so I'm going to add him in here, and I probably have to put my headphones on at some point, but we'll see. Ross Jackson, how's it going, man?
Hey, buddy. I'm doing great, man. How are you? You hear me okay?
I hear you just fine. Sorry, I don't have my AirPods in because, we got the game going on and all that stuff. So,
well, does everyone else hear me okay then? Jesus.
I hope everybody does. So I was talking a lot about stuff before you jumped on, just kind of the direction of this team, where things are going and all this other stuff. And so obviously disappointing. We're about 8 minutes to kick off, all that good stuff. And so I've got the game up here, and it's going to be a little bit weird. I kind of prefaced a little bit about what's going on. So just sort of a fun little thing that we're trying here. And, I don't know if we'll do this ever again, but at the same time, I'll probably be here for the Bucks game at least. I know Ross is going to be doing some fun stuff for the Bucks. I'm not going to let that cat out of the bag yet, but
no, I think it's okay. I think it's okay to say that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to steal your thunder, buddy. Go.
Oh, dude, there's no thunder over here, baby. It's all lightning. No. There's a chance. It depends on when the game is scheduled, but we believe it will be on the 5th. And with that being the case, I would be hosting. If that is the case, I'll be hosting the Saints pre and post game show again.
Yeah.
So I would be doing that, but I could also jump on and do this, or at least come in and visit with you while you're streaming during the game. Because literally, like what I do is I go into that studio, I do the pregame show, and then I just go into like the little green room area, and then I watch the game until it's over, and then I go back into the studio and finish, then do the post game and stuff. So if nothing else, I'll be able to jump on.
Sweet. Yeah. Dope. Ross, I kind of talked about a little bit about what I'm looking for tonight out of this game. What are you kind of seeing probably besides number 18?
Yeah. Number 18, number 25, number 75, number 14, and number 1. Those are my big ones that I'm going to be watching. So it's a lot of the young guys, right? Spencer Rattler, Kendre Miller, who, look, I respect Darren Rizzi a lot. So I'm not trying to say that Darren Rizzi was trying to do like a cloak and dagger thing here, but there is some gamesmanship involved in the way that you prepare for a football game and everything. And so while I appreciate what he was saying about having the committee approach, and while I do think that Jamal Williams is actually very valuable in this game, having played in Green Bay before, I imagine this is still going to be a very heavy run game that's focused, or this is going to be a run game that's very heavily focused on Kendre Miller, at least early on in the game, right? If the scoring starts to, pile on or something like that, then obviously you're going to go away from the run game. So that's going to impact him one way or another. But I'm looking at him, Taliese Fuanga, who has not allowed a pressure in 3 of his last 4 games. He's been stellar down the stretch. And then, of course, that Kool-Aid McKinstry and Alante Taylor tandem, who are going to be challenged to try to keep some of the big plays that Green Bay has generated. Big play, particularly in the passing game. Green Bay is amongst the top of the NFL in both 20-plus yard passing plays generated and 40-plus yard passing plays generated. They're going to go after those young corners. And so those are going to be the guys that I'm going to really, really be watching. And then DeMario Davis, because he's always fun to watch.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you look at last year, I just remember I was thinking about it. This was the Isaac Yadam game. Remember that?
That's right. That's right.
That game was nuts last year. I
that was
I
crazy.
still can't believe how that ended. And, again, that kind of just, you look at how this team reacted after that. It's like that was the game that kind of broke their spirits, and one they wish they had back, all that fun stuff. And it's just crazy that 4 years now, no playoffs or anything like that. Right. Like I said, I wrote about it, that there's got to be massive changes. I don't know that you can sit here and say there's one single thing that you just throw at the dartboard and say this is going to fix this team, because it's not. Sure. I just don't think that. Sure. But I think they got to be honest with themselves. I think they've got to figure out, what's the most pressing things that they have to fix here. And, I wouldn't expect them next year to be in a space where they just say, okay, we're going to turn this thing around and suddenly become 10-7 or 11-6. You know what I mean? I don't know. They get the right leader in and make the right decision. Sure. But come on.
a lot of ifs got to happen in between now and then.
Yeah, I agree. I told people we're going to answer some questions, as I did also say,
for sure.
Obviously working and stuff, but this will be a really interesting to test our multitasking, if you will. But Paul asked about the Green Bay offensive coordinator in the in the head coaching search. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that you go to a non-play caller if you're going to go to an offensive coach. Steinbeck's or what's his name? Steinbeck. I can't remember how to pronounce his name. But he has been Stenavich. Adam Stenavich. He's been a good coordinator, but usually if you're hiring an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator, particularly if you're hiring an offensive coordinator, you want an offensive play caller. Remember, that was the big hang up with Eric Bieniemy for so long,
right?
Or has been the big hang up with Eric Bieniemy for so long. I imagine the same thing would happen with Stenavich there, as somebody that, he's been a part of what has been a prolific offense, but it had somebody said, him. But I think that I know I'm sitting trying to remember that goes to show you right there, just like what the notoriety is when you're an offensive coordinator, but you're not a play caller, right? Like that alone goes to show you. And so, you can be a part of a prolific offense all you want to be, but if you're not the one calling plays, you're probably not getting head coaching looks just yet.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I think there's more pressing candidates. I think we should probably know the top candidates, and I think it kind of segues here is that if Rizzy somehow pulls this upset, what would it do? I don't think it would give him the job. I think it would just make him a little bit more of an appealing coach, especially no Derek Carr, no Alvin Kamara, no Marquez Valdez-Scantling. There's a lot of the deck stacked against you, and
right.
I mean, but I don't think this would completely say, okay, he pulls off the upset, he's definitely there. You know what I mean? I just don't buy that.
Yeah.
But I think it would go a long way for him if they somehow win, which we know that's probably not going to happen. But any given Monday Night Football game, right?
I know you looked up because that's who needs to intervene in order for the New Orleans Saints to get this win today. I see what you're getting at there. No, but I do think that it pushes him further along. But look, if he wins this game, if he leads the charge that wins this game against Green Bay, but then goes home next week and loses to Las Vegas Raiders, you're still talking about him as a guy that's like involved in the conversation. You're no longer talking to him as a guy that like seals. So I think that it's got to be like, if he wins the next 3 games, then I think that is really the thing that makes you go like, okay, he's probably a favorite in the conversation. But unless he does that for all 3 games, I don't think that you look at him in that way just yet.
Absolutely.
Fireworks.
Yeah, I see all the fun stuff. I'm probably a little bit ahead of you. And so I'm bringing in our stats. This is, so again, we kind of told you a little bit. This is what we use, or at least what Ross and I use during the game. This is our official NFL live stats. And so we're going to put that up, because if I put the stream up, it's too much bandwidth. Don't want to get in trouble with the channel either. Obviously, that's another thing. But, looks like we're right here for kickoff. That's where I'm at on the TV. It shows Darren Rizzi up on the screen right now. I don't know about you.
I'm still on the Matt LaFleur part.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
I am going to be
ahead of me. Yeah, you're
it's going to happen in here in the chat. Like everything's going to happen here first, and then Ross is going to see it, but I'll probably see it in real time.
That's
so
totally
24
fine.
degrees is what it feels like. It's 34 degrees right now, and so it looks like right now, I'm looking at it. Looks like Packers are getting the ball. Yep, Packers get the ball to start. So I guess here we go. Blake Groupie got the long sleeves tonight. I want to see. That's another thing about when it's cold. I want to see who's got the short sleeves on and stuff.
Oh, I love that.
Like the Packers are going to start with the ball. Color rush with the gold.
Color rush jerseys.
Love it.
Yep.
Love it.
Bink did the jersey announcement from Rouse's.
Yep. Oof. Yeah. Already starting kind of.
Uh-oh.
It's a good kick return. So Jordan Love coming out now. And then, so everybody knows Packers, they're 3-0 on Monday Night Football under Matt LaFleur in the month of December. So,
yep.
I mean,
they're outstanding under Matt LaFleur in the month of December in general.
Yeah.
And they're outstanding at home up against Matt LaFleur. I think that it's if I remember correctly, it's like 48 or 49 games, 46 games. I think it's 46 games, and they're 34-12 or something like that under him in just home games. And then, of course, as Darren Rizzi pointed out last week, they're 24-0 when they win the turnover battle at home. So that's going to be big in this game too.
Very interesting. Yeah, looking at it, plays would have come up on yours probably, but they started out in the slot, it looks like, or started out in nickel.
Mm-hmm.
Good first play.
Nickel, but then they had Musgrave on the outside, so you had Demario Davis pulled out of the box there to the opposite side of the field. So that was a really interesting. So this is about play design, right? You take the linebacker in a man-to-man situation, you put him, the tight end, you put him on one side of the field. That brings your best linebacker, the opposing best linebacker, out, and then all of a sudden you're running to the opposite direction. And so,
yeah, good play by Cam there. I don't know. Again, I'm probably going to spoil it in some aspects.
Don't worry.
There, Joe Woods up, but that's a really good play by Cam. Look, he's been playing really well. And with no Nathan Shepard in this game, I was curious to see, is Cam going to play more inside, or are they going to use Tano more inside? Third down now. It's like Cam jump, though.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Crowd's not happy. Something happened.
Oh. They're showing Joe Woods.
Neutral zone infraction. Now it's going to be from 3rd and 6 to 3rd and 1.
Well, started out so well.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. It was Cam. Cam jumped a little bit. He was right there. Then the right tackle reacted.
Yeah, I saw that. Very interesting. They were showing Joe Woods a moment ago. Joe Woods is a guy that's going to be important to watch over the course of the offseason
Yeah,
too, because when they, it's not the thing to remember is that the Saints don't only have an interim head coach, they effectively have an interim defensive play caller. And so
yeah,
this is another guy that for these next 3 games with them not being playoffs, if them being eliminated from the playoffs, these are going to be the types of players and people names to watch that are like effectively working for jobs right now.
for sure. Yeah. And we talked about Josh Jacobs in our pregame or our game preview show, but he's going to be a problem, right? Like Josh Jacobs is running the ball extremely well, and I think it's crazy because remember that whole situation where he joins Green Bay and then they had the 2 dual backs for 1 second with him and Aaron Jones, and then they're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's not going to happen. But Josh
Right.
Jacobs, man, he's almost got 1,200 yards this year. He's playing exceptional, but Packers getting close to being across midfield already after that great punt or kick return.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, picked up the 3rd and 1 on a little pitch to the outside to the right. That's a Kubiak special right there.
Yeah.
So you could see a little bit of the similarity between these 2 offenses in certain situations. Josh Jacobs, by the way, has scored 12 rushing touchdowns this season. 11 of those have been since week 8. So he's been on a tear.
Yeah, I'd say so. It says he's got 430 rush yards in the first quarter. Leads the NFL. It's insane.
Yeah. Yep.
Good ground game from Matt LaFleur. That's a staple there for Green Bay.
Mm-hmm. That's part of what you want with the wide zone offense. Like so many of these young guys kind of get heralded because of what they can do in the passing game. But the only reason why they can do that in the passing game is because the wide zone offense, the outside zone run, it stretches and challenges those defenses horizontally.
Yep. Good play there. Packers just driving down that field, man. It's adjustment period and you got to figure it all out. But, I think
this is a game.
Bit of a footing issue too.
Yeah, this is a game. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yep, for sure. This is a game where you are absolutely expecting some bend, don't break defense from New Orleans because they've got to figure out exactly how they're going to be playing this and everything. I know it drives everybody crazy, but it's exactly what they need to be doing in this game. Yards after contact, yards after catch. You saw it both on that Josh Jacobs pass over to the right side there, the screen. Tano gets out there, first contact on a ball carrier for him all season, ends up not being able to wrap up, and then you get the extra yards after catch.
Yep. Kraft tight end getting some success there. Packers just kind of methodically running down the field right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing is, I know people, especially when because fans are like, yeah, I get it. When you watch the game, you're like, oh my God, you see all this stuff. Again, this is feeling each other out. It's the teams who make the best adjustments here that I feel like, obviously, you see what you look at on the first drive. Can you make the adjustments on the second drive? First 15 plays are usually scripted here, but Packers are definitely having their way. And whew, good Lord, Josh Jacobs, man, oh man.
Oh, he's going to be trouble tonight.
Watch this run. Golly. Just told Tyron to get off me.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But that doesn't happen often. I know Tyron hasn't had the greatest year. I know he's battled a lot of injuries and stuff, but that's definitely one that people are going to like a lot if you're Green Bay.
Already coming up on. Oh man! Oh gosh!
Yeah,
they just showed it. And so I just saw the slow motion replay of it.
Yeah, not good.
Already coming up on 5 minutes of time of possession in the first drive here.
Yep.
For Green Bay.
About to the 1 right now. So, man, oh man. This is how it goes, man. We watch it up in the press box and stuff, and we see all this stuff unfold, and it's just crazy how little resistance the Saints are given right now defensively.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it has anything to do with the elements. Like that stuff I think is overrated, to be honest.
Yeah. I always like when coaches are like, hey, we're not playing against the weather. Both teams are playing in the same conditions and everything.
This would be a great time for a thick pick from Colin. And it's just as I say, he makes a good play. Oh man, that was really nice. Nice little stop on the on Wicks there.
This would be a great game to get him involved in a goal line situation on offense again.
Yeah, I mean, he just gobbled him up. Just playing like Colin Saunders does, plugging that middle.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's tough to do on those shovel passes too. I think they were ready for that. They look like they were.
Yeah, I think they
That'll be
brought
really
in
good.
extra DT on that one too. It was Ridgeway, Colin, and
Mhm.
I think Brazil was in there too.
Yeah, and then they got Tano on the line and Granderson. Yeah, they had 7 on the line? 6 on the line?
Oh, too easy.
They had 6 on the line.
Too easy. I don't know if Harris slipped on that one or what, but touchdown Packers.
There you
Wicks.
go. I'll tell you on the replay here.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's not bad because I can tell you what's coming, and you can
That's
see
right.
what happens too.
Yep.
They're highlighting Wicks here.
Oh, yeah. Looked like
Looks like he
Ugo
got a
a
little
little
bump
bit.
on Amadi. It was
Yeah.
Amadi there.
Yep. Yeah, Harris was over the top.
Yeah. So just like that, 6-0 Packers, 8:41 to go in the quarter.
Yep, so it took
That
nearly
14-point favorite. You know what I'm saying?
took nearly 7
7-0,
minutes off the
8:41
clock.
to go. So now we got the commercial break. And so by all means, Russ, if
Oh,
you got to
boy.
do work stuff while we're doing all that stuff, I already prefaced it. It's like, we might go silent a little bit. You know what I mean? So
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, gotta get the first couple of drives in, though,
yeah. Yeah.
Gotta get the first couple of drives in.
Yeah. I just think when you look at this game, I mean, it's an opportunity for you. I mean, again, a win by the Packers, they're in the playoffs, but for the Saints, you're playing for pride here. That draft pick, though, you know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know how that's all going to shape out, but I don't know
Well,
where do you think they're going to end up realistically falling. If they lose this game, their outlook obviously is a lot better for a higher pick here.
yeah, it's a little bit of it's kind of weird because they're alone right now in the NFL at 5-9. And so if they lose, they don't go anywhere because there's no, there's 4-11, there's a 4-11 team, but there's no other 5-10 team in the NFL. So if they lose, they stay at 10
Yeah,
because 9, 8, and 7 below them are all at 4-11. If they win, they'd be tied with San Francisco at 6-9. San Francisco only has 1 division win. New Orleans has 2. So that would technically move New Orleans to 11. But if they lose, their draft pick for the second week in a row with a loss would not be impacted at all. They would stay at 10.
yeah. And it's going to come down to, I mean, with the Giants, they kind of sit on top of everybody right now with kind of sole possession of their number 1 pick and stuff. So it'll be really interesting to find out where they end up falling here after after the next couple of weeks of play. So, I mean,
Yeah.
just nuts.
I hope my typing's not annoying.
No, and same here. So I'm sorry if it is loud because I'm typing on the keyboard. And again, if you guys have comments and stuff like that while we're in here, just do it. Jerry, I'm glad that you're having fun. We just try and see how this goes. I don't know. And we'll see. I mean, a lot of you guys are tuned in, so I guess that's cool. So
Yeah, thanks for being here, everybody.
yeah, and those people that are on TikTok, I got a TikTok going one right here. They say they can hear me, so that's good. Wayne asked me on TikTok, he said who the receivers are tonight. Mason Tipton, Cedric Wilson Jr., and you got Kevin Austin Jr. and Dante Pettis.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why I said it's going to be big on the tight end game. I think this could actually be good for Dallin Holker tonight. I think this could be a good night for him.
Yeah, good Dallin Holker game. We get a nice Foster Moreau gets to continue a little bit. Oh, that's interesting. So basically they were setting the pick on Ugo, and then they actually covered it on the opposite side very well with McKinstry. And so because Ugo got picked and fell to the ground, it just left Wicks to like walk into the end zone there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if Ugo was trying to sell the pick a little bit.
Maybe. I mean, he threw his hands up afterwards. So
yeah.
They just showed who's not available for the Saints. Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, Marquez, Valdez, Scantling, Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, and Taysom Hill. But they have their offensive line.
That's a full screen graphic, man. Good.
Keeping it real, this is NFL GSIS. I usually call it NFL Jesus, but I don't know if that's really kosher. But yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Rattler's starting the gun. You got to get him comfortable early on. Good decision running out there. Okay, good first play for Rattler. That's good awareness. I figured the Packers, you talked about they don't pressure a lot, but I think they had a little bit more maybe a little bit of pressure there where it's like
Yeah.
Rattler just made the quick decision to take off, but a good first play
That's
for him.
one of the things that he told me a few weeks ago is he wanted to, from what he learned is he wanted to use his legs more. And so there you
Yeah.
go. It's a quick way to get into a second and manageable. Now you got to not go backwards on second down, which has been a thing. And yeah,
Good
Green Bay
patience by
28.
Kendra there. Good
Nice.
first run for Kendra. I love that about Kendra, the fact that he's got that little pause in him and
Very
just enough
patient.
patience to figure out where he's
Yeah.
going to go.
This is one of my favorite things about watching his TCU tape, kind of Le'Veon Bellish in terms of that area of his game. Got the orbit motion from Mason Tipton that pulls a little bit of the pressure out of the middle of the offense, middle of the defense, and then the Saints run right up the middle. So again, you're seeing kind of similar to what Green Bay did earlier. You see the motion that moves somebody out of the middle of the defense or impacts the middle of the defense, and then ends up
another great play design there.
Run there.
Love that. They get the tight end screen to Foster. They fake the handoff to Miller, and then Foster peels off his block and is able to get passing and make some moves behind that offensive line.
Foster's been on one here
Great
recently.
design. Yeah, he's been on one, man. We talked about him in training camp.
Great
he's
job
one of our
by
MVPs.
McCoy.
Dude has been playing pretty dang good.
Yep. Great job by McCoy and Fuanga there too. Fuanga kind of stayed stacked up on McCoy a little bit. And then once McCoy advanced, Fuanga just took over the defender basically. And then that allowed McCoy to get further downfield. So Foster had a committee there between those two leading them down the field.
Look at Rizzy on there. He said it's not that cold on the sideline. He said it's pretty warm. He said once you get on the field, though, that's when it gets cold. I thought that was
yeah. Sideline, they got all the heaters and everything and all that stuff. So, all right, there's the first. I'll call it non-positive play. Right, you get the run for no gain to the right side.
You got Shane Lemieux in the game. I don't know what happened. Looks like he's in for Patrick, maybe? Or maybe is he at center?
Yeah, he's at center.
All right.
And so that means McCoy.
Look, because we're obviously not there, so I can't see it, but see if I can find out. But it looks like either McCoy went to 10 or something, but no, let's see. Who's that? Yeah, Patrick's at left guard. So yeah, Lemieux. Nope. Oh man, come on now. The first target there. Geez, Saints offense staying out on 4th and 7. What?
Wow. Yeah, might as well.
At center, so not sure what's up there.
That was a spicy meatball by Spencer.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit of heat on it.
Maybe stay on, try to get him.
Why not go for it on 4th and 7, I guess. You know what I mean?
Last game of the year here, Bob. Nothing to hold back.
Patrick moved on it. Just a false start.
Oh, boy. That's going to be a new –
be punting now.
That's going to be a new left guard in 2025, man.
Yeah, and as we said, though, you're not going to put – you're not going to be using your first-round pick on an interior guy. I just don't think so.
No, and you won't have to in this draft either, which is good news for New Orleans. You can go to a guy like Jaden Roberts out of Alabama at early day 3, late day 2, and have a starter. Like, it's a pretty good class.
All right, Matt Hayball.
Let's see how he punts today.
Looks like you got JT Gray in pretty good position. So, all right, inside the 10. I mean, that's surprising, but, looked like a pretty good first drive until it wasn't. So,
yeah,
it's very familiar.
Yeah, and
I got a holding call on the punt too, so that's gonna back him up.
Yeah. Rattler talked about in his media availability on Saturday how big of a game changer. He talked about how much it changes everything to have Eric McCoy in during that second half last week, and then he gets 3 plays with him.
Yeah, I don't see anything on McCoy right now. I guess we're the ones that looked at it and found out.
Surely
I mean,
he'd
there's
be in,
always
like,
so much going on. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I like the concept of a Lucas Patrick, but man, it's just that's been more of a common thing that he's gotten called for some of those plays, those types of things, which it stinks because I thought Nick Saldivari was playing extremely well when he came back in the lineup, and for him to get hurt, that just it's unfortunate. But again, injury is part of the game. I went on my rant and tirade earlier about that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, now they're saying Eric McCoy's in an injury tent, so
Yeah.
good job, Ross. We figured it out first. Oh man. Again, guys, if you got questions and stuff, put them in, all that fun stuff. But again, thanks for hanging out for us. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. We really appreciate that. And TikTok audience, thanks for tuning in. Those who are here, just trying some things out. Got to this day and age, right? Oh man, commercials. That's never gonna get old. That's a nice little find there, Ross, about having McCoy back. Jeez.
Yeah, it took 2 plays.
Yeah.
Thanks. And that's no shade at McCoy. It's just like
No, absolutely not. No, he's super valuable. But again, that's part of the thing that I was saying about the injuries is that you got to have the depth too. Like you got to have, and we were concerned about some of the depth on this offensive line going into camp too. So it's just, yeah, 2/3. I like that, Michael. Which we actually got to meet Michael at one of the games. That was really nice to meet him. So, all right, good first play for the Saints defense. A lot of Tano early. That's good to see him. He's back out. Yeah, McCoy to the locker room now. Great. That just stinks. This team's snake bitten by injuries, man. I swear I don't understand it.
They're gonna. I was writing a piece the other day, and my lead was the Saints are gonna finish the 2024 season exactly as they began it, riddled with injury. It's just kind of where they are. Unfortunately, it stinks. It's just like it's just one of those seasons again to where you'll never know how good they could have been or might not have been. You know what I mean? We don't know, but like you never really know for sure.
Marvel series, what if? You know what I mean?
Right.
Good run defense on that second down, setting up a 3rd and 6 now. All right, got a little bit of different rush look here. Not really sure who's coming. Got Turner on the outside. Chase Young. Another jump. Tano jumped.
Jeez.
Saints are saying it's on the Packers, but let's see. Most times we know how this goes. Yep, neutral zone infraction. Now I go 3rd and short now. This is what happens.
There's your what if. There's your what if, huh?
See, and the thing is, it's like, look, Tano hasn't played in a long time, obviously, and so he's a smart player. But doing that, he was playing from the inside. But again, that's tough because now it's just 3rd and 1, and
So that was a 3rd and 6 that turned into a
3rd and 6 to 3rd and 1 now.
So twice.
Love straight ahead. I think he got it. Should get the spot. Yeah, first down. Just straight ahead. I will say this too. I know Ross. I don't know if I totally speak for him, but been to Lambeau several times. If you've never gone to Lambeau, make it a thing on your bucket list.
Oh, for
but
sure.
expect that the housing and hotels, Airbnbs are going to be like stupid expensive, but I've been fortunate to go to Lambeau, I think like 6 times now, and it's amazing atmosphere. Packers fans are about as nice as they come. You know what I mean? Like it's really a fantastic place to go. I will absolutely always endorse them. Missed tackle. That's a tough one though. Warner on Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs. I have this number somewhere. Let me see if I still have it. This was a yards after contact. Where are you? Here it is. Josh Jacobs, second most forced missed tackles in the NFL. And he also has the 5th most yards gained after missed tackles with 482. And he's already got a couple of big plays in this game off of following missed tackles. This has got to be one of those things that you watch and then you kind of go, you wonder, like the thing about the head coach hire coming up is you don't have to hire a defensive head coach to improve your defense. You can hire the head coach that you feel is the right head coach and then go and get the defensive coordinator that improves your defense. But I understand why Aaron Glenn's, you can watch a game like this and you can go, okay, I understand why Aaron Glenn's high on the list, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely. And that's why we've talked about it. Do they give Kubiak and his staff another shot at it? You know what I mean? Great pass breakup by Alante.
He's got 13 passes defended in the NFL, which I believe leads the league right now. But it's also, or I think it leads the league for most passes defended without an interception so far on the season.
I know Packers fans don't like it. I think Alante played that pretty well.
He's clearly going after the ball.
Yeah, I mean,
he's making a play on the ball.
You know what I mean? So,
all right, 3rd and 7.
Buck and Troy Aikman agree. So good, no call. So don't bring up no calls and Saints.
Yeah, I could see he wrapped his hand around his waist or wrapped his arm around his waist, but he didn't pull his body. Like he didn't turn his body.
Yeah.
Not at all. Will 3rd and 7 remain 3rd and 7?
Yep. Spoiler alert. It's first down.
Yikes.
Dobbs on McKinstry right there.
Oh, yep. Yeah, McKinstry was up over the top, which makes sense. But Romeo Dobbs wearing the Guardian helmet, Guardian cap.
Oh, it's a good eye. I didn't even notice that. I mean, they stick out like a sore thumb, but
that the team themed slips help a lot.
Good coverage there. Forces love to throw that away. Man. Yeah, Paul says underrated free agent pickup for the Packers, Josh Jacobs. Absolutely, 100%. He's, and again, Aaron Jones is awesome. You know what I mean? But Josh Jacobs there. Whew.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're going to lose one and get the other, you might as well be one of those guys and one of those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, All right, another look. We've seen a lot of Peyton Turner early. Chase Young right there. Oh, Love got it away. And Jacobs, man, he is just killing this team right now.
Yeah, he was always going to be the guy.
That's the epitome of it. Chase Young has him wrapped up. Jordan Love does just enough to get rid of the ball. And then they miss him down there. Golly. I mean, you can't put a running back on Chase Young.
Yeah, they tried to get the fullback on him.
63.
Yeah. And that left tackle didn't have
another thing. We talked about getting Jordan Love down on first contact. We said that in our preview. That was a prime example of not being able to do that too.
Yeah. That left tackle pulled up and just kind of let Chase run through, even though he didn't have an assignment. You got to look for work, man.
It's like Packers took a timeout. I don't know. I hadn't seen a lot of Cam here. I don't know if Cam got hurt or something, but I don't know. I've seen him since in this drive at all.
Yeah, it's been a lot of Peyton Turner.
Yeah, tons of Peyton Turner. I mean, you've seen Granderson too. Commercial break right now, so I'm not going to say the commercial that's on there, but because they have to pay us. But it's a catchy tune. I'll just say that.
Oh, I know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything about Cam.
Yeah, you look at the stats. Green Bay's 4-4 on third down right now. They've got 103 net yards, 8 first downs. I mean, they're averaging 5-point yards a play, 43 on the ground, 50 or 60 passing. Jordan Love 7 of 10 for 60 yards and a touchdown. Josh Jacobs, he's got 68 total yards, 7 rushes for 36 yards, 3 catches for 32 yards on 3 targets. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think Packers' game plan is pretty straightforward here.
Yep. Run a football, throw when you have to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
close.
you have to do anything crazy.
Yeah. And a lot of these throws, I mean, like I wonder if I can let me see if I can get air yards somewhere. But I imagine that like right now, the throws by Green Bay have mostly been close to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I don't think they've had anything real deep. I'd say nothing over 10 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I think they tried the one that was over 10 yards was on Alante, and then that was the one he broke up.
Yeah, so far only 2 pass attempts beyond 10 yards for Jordan Love. Picked up 15. Beyond 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, I mean. Picked up 15 yards on the one completion there. Rattler's got 2 attempts so far. The first one was behind the line of scrimmage, 12-yard pickup. That was Foster Moreau. And then the one to the left side was within 10 yards. That was one that was high for Kevin Austin Jr.
Yeah. Troy Aikman bowling. All right.
All right.
I mean,
sure.
Joe Buck. He's sitting there.
Josh Jacobs, 7 carries for 36 yards, 23 of the yards on 2 attempts coming from just running out to the outside right side.
Oh, he might have got it, but that was a pretty decent stop by Ugo in first contact. I would expect, he's short, but I expect the Packers to stay on for this one. No way they're not going to go for it.
Yeah, I don't see why.
Yeah, LaFleur's already calling it a play. I mean, shoot, but the way they've been doing, I just try to make them jump off sides.
True, too.
It's worked.
Good job by Ugo and DeMario, but then also I think it was Alante that wrapped around to get involved in that too.
Yeah. Still no Cam. Something must have happened. Into the first quarter now. So into the first quarter, it's the Packers 7, Saints nothing. 4th and 1 when we come back. Maybe not as brutal of a quarter as I thought it would be, but
No, not as bad. I mean, but not what you're looking for. A little bit of stat comparison here. So the Packers right now have picked up 8 first downs. The Saints have picked up 2. On third down, the Packers are 4 of 5. New Orleans is 0 for 1. Total net yards, 104 for the Packers, 26 for the Saints. That includes 44 rushing yards and 60 passing yards for the Packers, 14 rushing yards and 12 passing yards for the Saints. And then on top of all that, just in terms of like total plays run, the Packers have already run 10 plays in this first quarter. The Saints have only run 4. And so time of possession right now, Packers are winning 11 minutes and 57 seconds to 3 minutes and 3 seconds for New Orleans.
Yeah, well,
it's the keep away, right? Like that's what you're trying to do. 3 penalties already for New Orleans for 15 yards as well.
And they all matter. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when you think about 2 of those penalties. 2 of those penalties took a 3rd and 6, 2 3rd and 6 spots and turned them into 3rd and 1s, right? So you got them into effectively a 3rd and inconvenient, let's call it. and then ended up forcing them back into a third and manageable, third and short. I'm going to go out on a limb and say not great, Bob.
Yeah, not great, Bob. Not great, Bob. Yeah. Yeah, I think that sums up the 4 years out of the playoffs, which is crazy. It's at least 2021 they started great, and then Jameis gets hurt. I think they could have been fine then, but like I said earlier in our stream, it's just we were promised this continuity with Dennis Allen. It just didn't happen, and then they said, "Oh, we just need the quarterback." Bring the quarterback, still doesn't change, and so it's like you've changed all these parts and pieces, and it still ain't get you something different. So
right.
Oh, the Pro Bowl. I remember when it used to be something cool. College football playoffs, man. I don't think that went exactly like you thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
For Indiana and SMU. I mean, that was not surprising at all. I thought Tennessee would have put up more of a fight, but
I thought so too. I was surprised by Tennessee. I actually picked Tennessee for an upset now because I was like, there's got to be one upset in this week, and that's the only one that made any sense.
Yeah.
Oops.
Packers still on it. Love straight ahead. Easy. Too easy.
Yeah, that middle of the defensive line for New Orleans is going to need some serious upgrades this offseason.
I agree. I tell you what, I said this during the Ohio State game, but that Emeka Egbuka, oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Whew. We talked, you were the proponent of talking about a wide receiver first.
Yep.
I'd like him.
Go and get yourself a playmaker, man. Like you need somebody on that offense.
Yes. You need just more than what you got. Saints defensive line, they got a little bullied there. They push. There's Cam. Cam's back in. Good first contact by Brazil, but you could have had him for a loss. Instead, Jacobs plows ahead for about 2.
Boop. Good push. Brazil got back. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Little gang tackle situation. Nice little swim on the inside on Brazil. He was able to beat looked like he was able to beat the guard or somebody on an inside move. Kind of won that inside shoulder. He was able to get back there. I'm sure he would have loved to have finished that play in the backfield, but
that was a good job. Granderson in pursuit, and a good job by Amadi. It's like Kraft was that first option there that he wanted to go to. Amadi's played pretty well down the stretch for this team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's one of the guys that's probably made
this guy. I'm like, he's been in the league for years.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, he's one of the guys that's probably made the most of his opportunity so far this season.
Yeah,
in terms of the way that everything shook out and changed.
Yeah. 3rd and 7 now. Another that rush look, trying to create some confusion. Got 5 coming. They hold on that one. It'll be about 4th and 2, 4th and 3. Harris and Alante. I expect the Packers still to go for this one. 4th and 2 now. Yep, they're going for it.
Yeah, you got to.
I mean, shoot, at this point, why not?
Yeah, man. You're averaging. Let me go take a look.
I mean, look, and I mean this with all respect, but you got Spencer Rattler on the other side. Like you put some points up on the board, you make it harder for him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to make it inconvenient for the young quarterback.
Golly, yeah, that one's tough. Kool-Aid was right there for Kraft, and he peeled off. It looks like on Christian Watson, but instead Kraft was wide open and takes it inside the 20.
Oof.
That one's a tough one.
Here, I'll watch
Picked
this
up
here.
21. Yep.
Underneath.
Oh yeah, he had Watson wide open. Oof.
Yeah, something broke down there. Yeah, something broke down there for sure. Big time lack of communication, and that's what that trips bunch is designed to do. It's designed to challenge your communication. You see a lot of the motion and stuff that's designed to challenge your eyes. That trips bunch there is intense, especially a condensed trip bunch where they have those 3 guys lined up in that triangle and then they move it in closer to the offensive line. your challenge as a defense, who's got the inside guy, who's got the outside guy in terms of the route that they're running. So you have to do some post-snap diagnosis to know who's covering whom and to make sure that you're all in sync on that.
Yeah, about to be 14-0. It looks like Jacobs. McKinstry tried to go low on Jacobs. He was able to shed that one out, and now he's inside the 4. Looks like 1st and goal. Jacobs, easy touchdown. Just too easy. Way too easy. 13-0 now. Packers rolling in this one, buddy.
That's right, man.
They've had the ball now almost 15 minutes to the Saints, 3 minutes and 3 seconds. This is the formula. You know what I mean? Like this is such a
look at this, man. 17 play drive there. And that came off the heels of what was already a long drive.
17 play, 96 yards. Good Lord. Come on.
So the 2 drives so far for Green Bay have been a 10-play drive for 63 yards, or for 58 yards, excuse me. And then net yard 63. And then the second play was a 17-play drive. Both drives ended with a 2-yard touchdown. Took 8 minutes off the clock. I'm going to give that one a ugh.
Yeah. I mean, again, their formula is not that crazy.
No, man. It's all about, it's ball control. Be bigger and stronger than the guy in front of you. Run the football. Yeah, time of possession game. Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and I guess that's the thing is, it's like I don't know, and this might be obviously something more tackle. Like I don't know that there's some single fix for the Saints defense. You know what I mean?
No.
Like I don't think you just bring in Aaron Glenn, everything just magically gets better. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like if that's the route they go, but
Yeah, and it's a multi-year fix, like no matter what, because you got to bring in new talent, you got to bring in young talent, you got to manage your salary cap, you got to get out of this. Like this is going to be a 3-4 year endeavor. And I know fans, of course, would like things to happen faster than that, especially after seeing what happened in Houston, what happened in Washington. But those are outliers. Those are very lucky teams that landed their franchise quarterback number 2 overall because the other team that drafted ahead of them didn't take that quarterback. And so the amount of things that have to go right for you to end up in that situation is kind of wild. And so, it's gonna take some time to get back to what people are accustomed to seeing from 2006, 2020, for sure.
Yeah, I know. It's just you hope it doesn't take super long, but at the same time, it's there's a lot of things that need to be addressed in the offseason.
Yeah, man, for sure.
They're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with Chase Young. Is Isaiah Foskey going to be a part of this team? I think that's another thing is, are they going to be patient there or should they just cut ties? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a 2nd-round pick who's playing special teams. Like,
right.
That's not where he's supposed to be. You know what I mean? He's
not at all.
And so, again, I get it. I don't want to say it's a point of pride, but, if it ain't working by year 3, you're not going to have Peyton Turner. Tano's a free agent. So is Chase Young. That leaves you with Cam and Carl Granderson with Isaiah Foskey. So lot to figure out. But
yep,
Packers rolling in this one predictably. They've already got that 14-point spread right now that Vegas liked. So
yeah. This is the other thing too with this game is like the result is kind of the result, right? Like the thing about it is that like the Green Bay Packers heavy favorites in this game. It should surprise nobody when the Green Bay Packers win this game.
Yeah.
However, the thing that you were looking for was the young talent, right? First question you asked me, who am I watching? Okay, well, I'm watching, Kool-Aid McKinstry and Alontae Taylor. All right, you got a pass breakup for Alontae Taylor so far, but that's really kind of it, right?
Yeah.
You saw some a lot of miscommunication on both drives, one touchdown and then one of the big plays. There it looks like McCoy's back out on the field, which is great news for the Saints offense because you want to get a look at Rattler, you want to get a look at Kendre Miller, and so far 4 plays run by the offense for New Orleans. My apologies. 6 plays run by the offense for New Orleans. You haven't gotten an opportunity to see any of those young guys yet. So the thing you're actually watching this game for, you haven't even gotten to see yet.
Yep. And then you're already starting behind the sticks now after that run with Kendre, a toss out to the right. Cooper blew that one up. It's like he got past Penning, or was it Penning, or might have been Landon Young because they brought in Jumbo there.
Yeah, it was around. He got
Yeah,
inside.
he looked like he tried to help Young there, and then Cooper just blew by him.
Yeah.
2nd and 13 now. It's a disaster. This is exactly the problem here too. You just came off of a 17-play drive for this defense, and if you run a 3 and out here, got a timeout now on the field. Fuaga called for a false start.
Oof.
2nd and 18 now?
2nd and 18.
Oh, this is the problem, y'all.
Yeah.
Every week you just go backwards. And when you're in 2nd and 18, what do you call for Clint Kubiak? Like, I don't think there's a coordinator out there. You just like, okay, well, I can hang that. I can deal with that, especially when you're talent deficient like they are right now. You don't have Chris Olave, you don't have Rashid Shaheed, you don't have Taysom Hill, you don't have Alvin Kamara. I mean, it's just facts, y'all. The problem is, I think you're going to take at least a shot here. Yeah, Jamal's in, so they're not running.
Yeah, so then you're looking for him
Good
to be
run
back
out of the pocket. Rattler just taking off, gets 2. So 3rd and 16 now. Oh, you're right. Yeah, not off to a great start tonight. Nope, not even a little bit. Reed.
No.
I'd say it's pretty bad.
Oh, what's up, Reed? My guy. I'm gonna see him in a couple days.
Sweet.
Reed is a friend of mine from high school.
Okay, dope.
He and I have been rocking together for a long time.
I mean, yeah, just popped it off. Hey, Jordan Mims exists in the office finally, but they're extremely short. I might have picked them up like 6 or 7. So 3 and out. 3 and out after the defense is on there for 17 plays. Lord.
So Saints have had 2 drives and are going to fail to run a total number of plays that's equal to the first drive that Green Bay ran. Because that first drive was a 10-play drive.
Yeah.
And the Saints just are at 9 offensive plays now.
Rico Payton and JT Gray playing media at the punt returner.
No, they're so good.
They are. Like, I know
here's my weekly
crap about special teams, but it's something to appreciate. Man, look at that. Near the stadium, they got like people going down like these luges or something. What? That's where I want to go.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know, that's pretty dope.
Here's my weekly.
Well, y'all, we're in it for the long haul, right? That's all I can tell you.
Right. Not going nowhere. Interesting question from Michael here. If this quarter is the same as the last, do they switch to Haener? I don't think so, because I don't know that you can say that Rattler has been the issue in this game.
No.
In a way that Haener was struggling in that first half. Rattler's had what, three dropbacks, 3 or 4 dropbacks so far?
Yeah.
And both of them, a couple of them, he scrambled and picked up positive yards. But really the biggest issue is that they've gone backwards on the offensive side. And the defense has been, I mean, let's just call it what it is. The defense has been awful, right? And so I don't know.
9 plays to Green Bay's 27 plays now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not hard to do the math and know that you can't win football games like that. So
right.
No, I'm with you. I don't think they've just swapped with Haener, just because this is not I don't think it's a Rattler problem, right? Like they were having some success in the first drive, and then Rattler has the fastball, and then we're going to go for it on 4th down, and then they get a false start penalty.
Right.
And then defensively, just not being able to stop and get off the field. You know what I mean? Yep. And so, I mean, this is just predictable Saints football. So,
yeah.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us, Molly. Enjoy your family. We really appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you if we don't talk to you again. Thank you. Love our fans. And Sarah Toby. Oh, man. It's tough, man. Whew.
Molly might be the next grade of us, by the way. She's a very good writer.
Okay.
Very, very good writer.
Very nice. Somebody says
Her and Nick Jennings are like my two that I'm like watching. Somebody said what?
Oh, I was just reading some comments on Twitter. It says that season's over. This tank is on. Team's pathetic. Got a feel for Rattler, man. Can't blow it up just yet because the defense is still elite. Sarcasm. Yeah, somebody just put Colin getting pushed and bullied on that 4th and 1 play. Taking candy from a baby. We're back. Watson. Just that speed to the outside. Like, I mean, that's a play where the Saints defense probably should have had him for a short little game, but man, ended up turning that into about 9 yards. Golly. Somebody asked, should I keep watching this game? I mean, depends. Are you glutton for punishment or what?
You're more than welcome to hang out with us.
Yeah, just come hang out with us for anything. You know what I mean? Like,
we'll tell you.
We don't get a choice. We're gonna watch this team regardless. And I mean, I think by now we're just used to it. So 2nd and 1 now. Well, no push on the pass rush. And there's a wide open Tucker Kraft who gets it inside the 30. Oof. Just making it look too easy. Golly. 30 yards. Nola 28 now. This is going to get ugly really fast.
Yeah.
Oh, Matthew, my goodness.
I was trying to see exactly what happened there. Broadcast views are poopy. But
yeah, just a better look at it. Looks like Amadi's on him originally. Or no, Watson. They peel off on Christian Watson, and then Kraft just gets right over in the middle, and he just
it's just
3 catches for 63 yards. 40 yards after the catch.
Oh boy. Yeah, it was a zone look the Saints defense was playing, and yeah, just a lot of depth on the drop back. And so he just ran under the coverage. That's all you had to do.
Yeah. Yeah, look, this is another one too about Kool-Aid being able to step up for Lattimore. I don't know that I just blankly say that that's not, based off of what he's doing right now. I think Ross and I have both toyed with the idea and said that if you bring back Paulson on a pretty friendly 1-year deal, being that he's coming off of a huge injury, that's not a bad thing for this team. But, oh my gosh, just nothing.
Yeah.
Christian Watson getting free. Looks like Kool-Aid's down now.
Well, yeah, he was dealing with a shoulder injury.
Yeah, he's slow to get up. Watson's slow to get up. He might have hurt something too. Looks like he's pointing to his calf. But I don't know. I don't think I would lose hope on Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think he's got some really good technique. I think he just needs more experience. I think he needs to, he's got to develop. I think he's one that can develop, right? Like, I think let's see.
Yeah, it looks like lower leg for Watson.
I don't know what happened with Kool-Aid. He just looked like something just maybe come down in that cold. Didn't feel too good.
He came down hard on that right shoulder.
Yeah.
Goes to push him out of bounds, and then left shoulder rather. Sorry, I forgot to do this. I forgot to do this before I spoke.
Sarah Toby asked about outside of Chase Young. Was there another? Did they get any more pressure? I think there was a couple of plays, but nothing like.
Yeah, Granderson had some.
Yeah, Granderson had a few.
I can look at
now 6.8 yards of play. 4-6 on 3rd down. They got 210 yards of offense, and it's not even 7 minutes in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Or 7 minutes left in the second quarter. Ooh, Lord.
Granderson's average separation from the quarterback right now, which only includes passing plays where the defender is actually rushing the passer. Granderson is the closest at the moment. But here's the thing. Granderson is the one that has been closest to Jordan Love amongst the Saints pass rushers, right? 4.95 yards. But now listen to this over for the Green Bay defense. The player that has been the furthest away from Spencer Rattler so far in terms of average separation from the quarterback on passing plays is 4.76 yards. So every one of the top 4 pass rushers has gotten closer on average on fewer passing plays key context there. But still has gotten closer to Spencer Rattler than the Saints' closest pass rusher on average. This has been another Not Great Bob segment with Ross.
We go now to the Not Great Bob segment with Ross Jackson. Ross?
Yeah. Let's see. I'll tell you exactly what the Not Great Bob moment has been so far this game. Everything that has happened so far for New Orleans has been not great, Bob.
Yeah.
I was going to try to do the quick math of like how many minutes have been played so far.
Yeah. And it's funny because I don't even think, even if they were still mathematically alive for a playoff spot right now, like this performance, they would have just lost again and just like, would have been the same thing. Like, golly, it's terrible.
Oh, this is an interesting question from Michael. Can you tell the difference between Dennis Allen and Joe Woods' play calling? You're not going to be able to because it's the same playbook, right? And so there will be some things that maybe Joe Woods does individually in terms of like how he coaches up pass rushers or how he likes to deploy pass rushers when he likes to use certain things. But it's, DA left and it's still that playbook. So you're not going to see a ton of different stuff schematically. You're just going to see either the difference in terms of when things are called. The difference of when things are called or how certain things are executed, basically. So like an example would be Dennis Allen loves to run games on the defensive line. Right now, the Saints defensive line chooses when they run games. And so if they see something that's working or that they see something that the offense is leaving open on the offensive side, on the offensive line, then they will choose to run that game as opposed to them having to run it because it's a part of the scheme and it's a part of the play call.
Let me ask you a different question. A game like this, if you lose it, knowing that you're out of the playoffs, and if you just get blown out, what do you think that does to this team?
Well, it sucks. It sucks. They're gonna hate it, but these guys they got 2 games left in the season. They got to go out there. They've got to put their best tape on the field because they're all playing for a future. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so like you still, coaches are coaching for their jobs. Players are playing for their jobs. Like all of that is still very much, they still have the motivation of doing that. So I don't know that it impacts them too terribly much. Like they got to go out there, they got to play. They got to go out there and you look at a guy like Devontae Campbell will probably never end up on a team again. Like he'll probably never play in the NFL again. Right.
No.
Why? Right. Because he gave up.
XFL.
Yeah.
Or whatever that thing is now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. And so, I mean, unless the Cowboys are going to give him a chance because they seem to be that type of organization that does that every now and then to where like they'll do like the reclamation project thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And stuff. But man, like you can't be that dude, Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, well,
I'd agree with that.
Real's got a thing talking about, the Rizzy rah-rah, look unprepared, look defeated, personnel change. I mean, we said it like, if he wins this game, it goes a long way for him. But Nate, so far the way this is played out, I don't know how you can sell that to somebody. Look, Lemieux's going back in at center, so something's not right with McCoy.
Yeah, something's not right with McCoy.
I mean, at this point, not like it matters really, but it's tough.
Yeah. What I was saying, I agree with somebody was Michael, who was saying that DA seems more aggressive. I would say that this though is the most unprepared that we've seen New Orleans under Rizzy. Like if we were going to talk about
hell of a throw by Rattler. Goodness.
Ooh, let's see.
That's a dang good connection to Foster. Oh my Lord. I mean, well, yeah, maybe it's a risky throw, but dang, he put that in a perfect spot. Golly.
Oh, no, I love that because he also put it up high, gave him a chance to go and get it and everything. I mean, that's not too terribly dissimilar from the pass, actually, that Jake Haener made last week to Alvin Kamara in the first half.
Yeah.
Almost the exact same spot in the field. It's just that instead of him putting it in between two defenders, he put it over the top of a defender and then gave Moreau the opportunity to go up and get that. Now, sure, if Moreau doesn't go up there and catch it, it gets intercepted over the top. But
Sure.
any play over the middle has that risk.
Right.
So you
And
can
if
talk about
it goes off his fingertips, it's going to be picked. You know what I mean?
Yeah. we could make up what goes wrong, but everything that goes right could go wrong. It would be that situation. Nice run by Jamal Williams there. Like 4.
Yeah, picked
4
up
yards.
4. That Rattler to Morrow hookup was for 21. So biggest play of the night for the Saints easily, aside some of their kick returns. But
once we get to the 2-minute warning, I'm gonna cut my camera off, but I'm gonna leave my mic open. I'll have to write my halftime story.
Sure.
And
yeah, dude.
I'll write a lot faster if the laptop's in my lap, but nobody wants to see that with my camera on. So
yeah, at some point we'll have to, probably do bio breaks and eat. And I'm not gonna eat in front of you guys. That's just not cool. Like that's like y'all don't want to see me eat a snack or something. Let's go on. They're using a little bit more jumbo here too. That's another play where Landon comes in.
Yeah, I think you have to.
They just got called for it. They just got called for a flag. Golly, too many men on the field. That's undisciplined play.
Yeah, that's going to be.
Now you go from 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 10. Like you just can't make this stuff up, y'all. Like
that's a personnel management problem. That's going to be on the quarterback. It's going to be on the quarterback or at least the sideline. Derek Carr talking to referees.
3rd and 10. Kendre actually just picked it up, I think.
Oh, my goodness.
A great run by Kendre.
All right, let's see what we get here. So out of the shotgun. So this is what they've been doing with Kendre a lot. They've been running sort of this outside zone out of the shotgun. Kind of gets him. Oh, very nice cutback. Real good patience. Oh, yeah, he definitely got that. Really nice run by Kendre there. I like how there was no frills on that. That was just outside zone. I want to call that outside zone. Let me see. Read step. Yep, outside zone. You can tell it's a zone run because you saw on the replay the entire offensive line takes a step to the play side in unison. So you can see them all move, get a read of their gap, engage in their blocks, and then it gives Kendre the opportunity to run something that's a little bit unfamiliar for him. There's McCoy on the sideline, no helmet.
Yeah. It doesn't look like he's coming back in.
Didn't get anything on that one.
Saints let Eric Wilson. I remember that guy.
Wow, I remember that.
I don't know if anybody's going to remember him. The Saints in 2022.
Yeah. I thought he was going to make the roster, man. I really did.
And then he got signed off. He got signed by the Packers off the practice. Oh, no. Mm-hmm. Rattler lost the ball. Packers got it. Jeez.
Let's see here. Play action. Oh, my gosh. That offensive line. Is that supposed to be a screen? And they just kind of let it, the way they just let everybody through?
Got the pressure, and he just got hit, and it popped free. I guess he's trying to see if he's thrown it. But, man, oh, man. Oh, golly. That's right on brand. So here we are.
Oh yeah, that just came right out of his hands. Yeah, got to protect the ball better than that. He tried to get 2 hands on it, but
yeah.
Welp. That's the name of this game for sure. And so now, okay, so then they strung together another 6-play drive. Moved 32 yards, 3 minutes and 43 seconds of time of possession on that one, and then lost the fumble at the Green Bay 29. So that's basically giving them the ball at a kick return spot.
Yeah.
And there's still 2:45 left to go, 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning.
Oof.
Woof.
Yeah. Oof.
Woof.
Woof. Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof. Oh man. Michael says we couldn't do diddly poo. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's crazy.
I think the name for my column after this game is going to have to be the offseason can't come soon enough. Because
Sure,
at this
yeah.
point, at this point, I think the only thing that can be at all exciting about this team in the condition that it's presently in is or rather are the changes that will be on the way.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like if the idea here was to evaluate the young talent and try to be excited about the young talent,
which is what we said.
Yeah. Right. So far, you got a nice run from Kendre Miller and a good throw from Spencer Rattler, and that's kind of it. You know. But then the ball popping out of Spencer Rattler's hands in the sack, like, I'm really curious if that was supposed to be a screen.
I mean, it looked like he's trying to get it to Kendre. I don't know, but like still.
Because it was just three. It almost looked like 3 free runners.
Jeffrey. Hey, look. Regardless if it's good or bad, Jeffrey, we do watch the game. So
yeah,
we have
right.
to.
Yeah.
Been there for the good ones. I've been there for all the great ones, but this is struggle bus. I mean, look, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm kind of tired of seeing the same thing for 4 years, to be honest with you. But you know, I can't make them go do anything different. You know what I mean? Love back to pass. Colin was held there a little bit, and he had a good rush on that. Misses Dobbs deep, but oh man. 2:03 left, so you're getting close to your 2-minute warning, Ross. Sir Toby asked, would having young talent be our main seller for a new head coach to come in, or is our cap situation going to allow to bring in talent via free agency? I would just say the salary cap is probably going to go up 10 to 15 million, so they are going to have, I mean, they're going to get under the cap. Now, how much space they have to operate, it depends on what they do with Derek Carr's contract. Right. It depends on how they tackle some of these void years. Love going deep right here. Nope. Tried Watson. You got McKinstry and Jordan Howden both on there deep. So no harm there, but we got the 2-minute warning. But to answer there, I think there is some promising young talent, but here's the problem is that young talent's got to be developed, and you got to get the people in the building that's going to develop them properly. Because I think they have something in a lot of these young guys, most of them, but who's developing? You know, that's going to be the question that I have here is who's going to develop them, and how patient versus are they just going to move on? You know what I mean? Like I think, like with Isaiah Foskey, you got to figure it out. Like you're either going to play him and roll with the punches and all the struggles that may come with that, or you just need to cut ties. Like I guess that's the thing. Second round pick should be just playing special teams. I'm sorry, just can't do that. You know, so and that's just one example of many. But I think they have some good young talent on this roster. I think they have some players that can do extremely well here. I mean, hell, look what happened with Trevor Penning. I mean, he was the biggest liability coming into the season. And I dare say he's played pretty freaking well. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But they were patient with him and were able to do it. But he's also first round pick, so the pressure's there. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think on TikTok?
I'm still here. I'm just writing this.
No, I know.
Story.
It says, so we tend to talk about head coaching possibilities, but how about assisting coaches, especially developing young talent? Well, LJ, I think it depends on who they hire. You know what I mean? Right. So I think it just depends on, you know, wherever they go, that coach is typically going to want to bring in their own guys. And look, some of the people that are coaching here right now, the assistants, they may not stay on. I mean, Ross brought this up on our game preview the other day that if Rizzy's not the guy and doesn't get hired, he's not going to stick around. Like that just wouldn't make sense. You know what I mean? And so it just depends on what direction they go. But there's just so many moving parts and pieces. And it's not, the problem is it's not a one size fits all. You don't just hire one guy and it magically fixes everything. It just doesn't. Like you think you can move the needle in the right direction, but just to say, well, everything's fixed because you bring in this one guy, he's going to do it all. That's not happening,
Yeah. Yeah. And you're not going to look at the assistant coaches before you figure out who the head coaches are, because to John's point, like, and when he says he wants, like, whoever the head coach is going to want to bring in his guys, he means it quite literally. Like, they're going to hire their friends. And so it's all going to depend upon who that head coach is before you can figure out the rest of that sort of, like what direction that's all going to go. Coordinators, position coaches, all that stuff. Excuse me. That's all going to be completely dictated by who the head coach is.
All right, so they made a stop. Saints got a chance in the 2-minute drill. See what happens. Yeah, Rattler in a 2-minute drive. I am interested because I mean he did a pretty good job. Like they had a good plan against the Commanders in that final drive for the 2-minute drive, but they just couldn't finish it the way they wanted to.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see what happens in this one because they just haven't got much anything going. Got 80 yards to go. Start with a run. Jordan Mims, decent run on first down, about 8. Still no Eric McCoy in there. Clock's running. Saints got all 3 of their timeouts. 1:32 left, 2nd and 1. Mims picked up 9. Another handoff to Mims. I don't think he got it. So it just looks like they're just running plays.
Are they just going to take this to halftime?
I guess they're just taking it because now it's 3rd 1, 1:12 left. They haven't used a timeout. So what's probably happened is they'll get a first down and then they'll use their timeout. As a high ball to Mims, but 3 straight plays. He gets it. First down, 1:04 left. Flag, though. Roughing the passer. Roughing the passer on the Packers, so it gives them extra 15. Brenton Cox Jr. getting an earful from Matt LaFleur.
Oh, boy.
I mean, the ball was out. I don't know about that one.
Rattler got a couple of favorable roughing the passer calls.
He did
last week.
Look, I'm not biased by any means. I don't know if I like that call. I don't think so.
It was a little late coming up behind him like that.
I don't know if the prime coaching spot would be the Bears, honestly. Caleb Williams needs some help, man. I don't know.
And they have terrible. They have like really not terrible, but like their front office and leadership and everything is really concerning too.
I think it could be a destination to consider, but if I'm Ben Johnson, that's not my top pick. Like, I wouldn't. I mean that. Like, I think Caleb Williams needs the right quarterback, coach, and mentor, all this other stuff. And I just don't know if I'm Ben Johnson, I want to leave the Lions to go do that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Everybody's got to remember that Ben Johnson's alternative is also just staying where he is.
Yeah. And I said that too. I was like, if he gets close to a Super Bowl, I kind of want to take the Super Bowl if their window's right there, if they come up just short. And I know that sounds stupid, but why go in a bad situation? What in the world? Like it went off of Mims and Johnson almost had a shot at it. Yeah, it tipped off of Mims' fingertips, and then Johnson has a chance, and he drops it. Oh. I mean, I know that changed direction a bit, but it was in your hands. You had a shot. Ah, man. Golly, that could have been a big play, too. All right, Rattler back again. Scrambling now. He makes a decision, just runs it now. Right up to about the 48. Clock's 51 seconds now. Third down. 3rd and 7, it looks like. Now they use a timeout. 44 seconds left. Okay, you got to use your timeouts, man. Like, golly. You can't take them into the half with you. Golly.
Right.
Oh, Ronald meant for the Bears from just a talent standpoint, not the front and office and the ownership. I mean, I think the Bears.
Yeah, but you don't make a
talent.
decision based on
Yeah, I just don't
personnel
know.
on the roster.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't do it based off of talent. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to do that. All right, so now you got 3rd and 7, 46 seconds left. Ball's at the 48-yard line, looks like. Silent count. Got time. Good ball. Got him. Near the sideline. Kevin Austin Jr. He fumbled a little bit out of bounds, but he still got the first. 39 now. Good hookup. Clock's now running, so. Well, that's a good job by Rattler. I mean, it was right there at the last possible second for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What is this clock management? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
They have 2 timeouts and they let it go all the way down to 15. This is crazy. Wow. Wow. Golly, what in the world? I mean, I'm pretty sure the official waved his hands going. That's bad. They lost 25 seconds from that. Golly. Green Bay uses a timeout now. I mean, they might get a field goal out of this, but golly, 25 seconds, you just lost. Oof.
There you go.
Not great, Bob. The sequel,
Not great,
the prequel,
Bob.
and the
This will be segment 3 of the
Yeah.
Not Great Bob show. Not Great Bob. Ross, what are you doing?
All right, so 1st and 10. Now you got 1 timeout because they had to burn one. Rattler gets sacked. Golly, almost back to the 50.
Oh, no.
Goodness. Just cannot take a sack like that, too. Now they got to use the last timeout? Wyatt, who does he beat?
Let's see.
Gets past Lucas Patrick and Shane Lemieux.
Lucas
and
Patrick
looks
and
like
Shane
Cesar
Lemieux on the
Ruiz,
inside.
too.
Ran the inside or outside in game on
Goodness.
that. Rizzy was not happy, and understandably so.
Yeah, this is bad, man.
Yeah.
2nd and 22.
Rattler had options too. He's got to get that ball
Yeah,
out.
I
He's
mean,
gotta...
all you can do now here is throw something to the sideline and get up a few yards. Green Bay uses a timeout now.
Oh
Golly.
boy.
This is horrendous. Horrendous. I don't know if the Saints should get any more primetime games next year. It's like
I'm saying.
only rushing 3, 8 seconds. Just throws it to the sideline out of bounds. Golly, what in the heck is this drive? 5 seconds now. Now it's 3rd and 22. I mean, you're practically going Hail Mary at this point. Doesn't even get a chance now. He's going to throw it up. Not even close, it looks like. Way short. And he got picked, but he's out of bounds. 21-0 at the half.
Gross. Gross.
Good grief, y'all. That is about as painful as you can get of a half.
Yeah.
Just when you think it can't get any worse.
Well, good news
And
is
at
the
this
Saints get the
point-
ball at halftime.
I mean, at this point, you know, it's does Rizzy pull out the rug?
Yeah, I'm curious to see. I mean, they said that they wouldn't have a very tight leash on Spencer Rattler. I'm not sure if benching or changing the quarterback is going to help them out. But they did say last week that they did it because they needed a spark. They clearly need a spark. I just don't know if they're going to get it by doing that.
Yeah, I was listening to Riz, man. He not happy.
Yeah.
Whew. Oh man, y'all. I'll tell you what, if we were in Green Bay's press box right now, that'd be a pretty good food right there. I don't know if I'd say it's top tier food. Like of the press boxes that we've gone to, Green Bay's is pretty good. I just don't know about top tier. You have a favorite, Ross?
1 second, sorry.
Oh, you're good, man. That says we need guard help. None of our head coaching candidates are watching this game. Yeah, I mean, we said this in our game preview that, you know, coaches are probably going to be watching this, like prospective coaches, and then this is the film that you put out. I mean, it is embarrassing. It's hard. Like, and now you're looking at a situation where you put up a performance like this in national television. It's definitely not good for many people.
Yeah, no, very tough. Okay, what was the question? I just finished my halftime piece, which ended with the words.
Oh, I was talking about press box food.
Oh, press box food, like best.
Yeah, I say Green
box.
Bay's is not too bad, but I don't think it's in my top tier. But you know,
Green Bay's is okay if you don't mind the smell of eggs the whole time. Like we went because we were there for a noon game and they had an omelet bar, which like in theory sounds great.
Yeah,
but if you're somebody like me that like the smell of eggs just wears on you for a little while, like that just lingers, man. Like I can do without that. But the food selection was good. I think my favorite press box food spread that I've had so far has been, and I'm not just saying this because the Saints are playing against Packers, but I think it's been the Vikings. That US Bank spread was ridiculous.
Yeah, London's wasn't bad either.
Oh, sure.
London had an awesome spread.
Yeah.
I think they had a pretty awesome. I think for me, Dallas is pretty good. Atlanta's is probably one of my top for sure. Like they do.
Atlanta's a really good one.
They do pretty well. Tampa's isn't bad at all either. Trying to think. San Fran's isn't too bad. LA's
Pittsburgh
is
is dope.
interesting because they actually serve beer in there after the
Yeah,
game.
right.
Like, what?
Right. Yeah.
And they have like little cans of like espresso and stuff, like coffee. And so, yeah.
Yeah. The one thing that I wish that stadiums didn't do, and this happens sometimes when you go to away stadiums, and so when John and I will go and we'll look at like the lunch spread or whatever, they'll try to do like some kind of a meal that is reflective of the traveling team's like home cuisine. And like people like us that eat Cajun food and everything all the time, and Creole food and all that, like we're already picky as hell. Like just leave it alone. Like don't try.
Yeah.
Just don't try. Like there's no like I'm not gonna under no circumstances am I going to Charlotte to try Cajun food. You know what I mean? Like that's not happening. Give me your thing. Tell me what it is that like you want. You know what I mean? Or what it is that you have. Like introduce me to your cuisine. Don't try to make jambalaya.
So I hate to tell on them or whatever. So what Ross is describing is we were there for the Chiefs press box, the Monday night game.
Oh yeah.
And they served potato salad, Cajun potato salad, seasoned with Cajun. The potatoes, y'all, were raw. Like they were all practically raw. And like, this is not potato salad. Like they had some catfish. Like their fried catfish was pretty good. They had like a remoulade, all that.
Yeah, fried catfish was dope.
The potato salad, y'all, like I don't know what that was, but like it wasn't potato salad. It was raw potatoes, y'all. Like it was bad.
Yeah.
Like, and look, Kansas City is a hell of a stadium. That's the first time I got to go and check that off my bucket list. I only have 4 stadiums left to go to in the NFL. Buffalo, Miami, which are on the next year's schedule, and then the 2 Ohio ones, Cincy and Cleveland. But yeah, I was a little bit threw me for a loop in Kansas City with that one. Oh, another one that's good. Houston's got a really good press box.
Oh yeah, Houston's was dope. Their sweet spread is crazy.
Yeah.
They had like
you got the sweet tooth. Woo,
man. Oof. I remember I had grabbed a cookie to bring to somebody on my way out it was like a sugar cookie, but it was, it looked like the Houston Texans logo. And I went into the locker room, Saints locker room after the game, and I had it in my hand, just not thinking about it. And then somebody was like, don't let anybody see you with that, bro. It's like, oh yeah, no, good call. That's my bad. That's my bad. So I put it in my bag because I was trying not to crack it. I wanted to bring it back to the person that I got it for and be like, look, it's, it's cool. And then I put it in my bag and immediately cracked it. So
that's crazy.
But they were right. It was disrespectful of me to do that. I shouldn't have done
that. It happens. How about the Commanders, dude? That was a crazy game yesterday.
That was wild. Yeah, I rewatched that today because I was on the road during yesterday, man. And so all that I saw, I had like the CarPlay synced up, and so all I saw was your tweets about the game. That's how I kept up with the Commanders game on my way to Arkansas.
Yeah. Again, I'm sorry, y'all, if we spoil your games and all that other stuff. It's just can't explain living in the future. This came up earlier.
Oh yeah.
This one, just to put it out there, about the Rockets owner wanting to purchase. I mean, he could say it, but the reality is, I'm like pretty positive Gale's not selling. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's even a thought at this point. So, I mean, I think Todd Graves wants to get in on that too.
Mm-hmm.
So, if that was ever an option, but I don't see it at this point. Like, I think Gale's going pretty strong as long as she wants to do this. You know what I mean? So, Monstrato asked about McCoy out of the game. I mean, he was sitting on the sideline, so I would say he's probably out. I don't know. I hadn't seen if they had put out anything of what he's dealing with. It might be. I hope it's not the groin, because that would just be horrible again. But the fact that he's not out there again. Trying to see if I can get some Ross's halftime. Send help. See, no skip. Help.
This is man, that's rough.
I don't know if this is the worst half of Saints football since Drew Brees, but because I think the Dolphins game, like Ian Book might have been worse, possibly. I don't know, but golly.
Say that one more time.
Somebody said I can't remember a half this bad since the pre-Breeze era, and I said I don't know because I said the Dolphins game with Ian Book was pretty bad.
Yeah, and also last week's first half was pretty terrible too. I mean,
yeah.
Let's not forget that.
Yeah. Well,
it's
bad, dog.
So hopefully this is another tale of two halves. This is certainly the most that we've seen the Saints defense struggle in a while. Saints defense struggle in a while. Sorry, I put the emphasis on the wrong word there.
Yeah. A performance like this, it's like I said, I think it could be disheartening for this team, but oh man. Yeah. All right, TikTok fam. If you are still there, thanks for tuning in. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off and so I can focus my attention on StreamYard. I just wanted to try this out and see what happens. So thanks. We'll try it again.
Come watch the second half over on your favorite.
Come over to the YouTube channel or on Twitter or Facebook, but preferably YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button, all that fun goodness. Shameless plugs. All right, let's see and catch up on some stuff.
Yeah, I'm curious about the Saints' usage of I'm curious about the Saints' usage of Jordan Mims at the end there. Like, did something happen with Kendre Miller?
Yeah.
And if so, like, man, that's got to be it, right? Like,
I don't know. I mean, he was in for what, 3 straight plays, so
yeah.
I don't know. No idea. This is another good one about the Panthers and the direction they're going. I think it has more to do with Dave Canales and him unlocking Bryce Young in some aspects, but I mean, arguably they are doing some pretty good things. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Now, as far as the other part of it, I'm not going to touch, but I think Mickey has a big hand in whether this team is going to succeed or not. And I don't know. I think that's one of the things you got to evaluate in the offseason.
Yeah.
Everything should be on the table. Every offseason, everything should have been on the table. You know what I mean? Like last offseason, it should have been. This offseason, it should be. And again, we don't make the decisions, right? But just call it for what we think.
He's on the line right now.
Yeah, without a doubt. You go ahead. You're good. I'm good. I don't know that I would say that Mickey sees himself as untouchable, though. I don't think anybody sees themselves as untouchable. Oh, John's gone.
I just got off
okay.
so I could grab me a little something to eat, But no, I agree. There's this thing about, we've talked about this on episodes too, about this will business. Like that's not a thing. Like, and that's part of that Facebook stuff that gets said, like, don't believe everything you see or read. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or mistake the real story too. Like that's the other thing is like this idea of, Mickey as an executor and stuff like that. He's like third in line if something happens to Mrs. B to sell the team. That's it. Like that's all. That's the power that he would have, and it would be with Greg Binsel doing that and stuff. And so it's not really a situation where like, oh, he's a whatever with the team and he can't be moved on from or anything like that. Like that's just not true.
Yeah, I think Mickey's about 70. if I'm not mistaken.
Mickey
Maybe not.
Loomis
68?
age. 68. Nailed it.
All right, second half. Me finish chewing my food. Jamal Williams return and barely gets past 20.
Woof. Let's see what we got here.
That's crazy. He's Troy Aikman trying not to laugh because of being asked what the Saints have to do.
Oh man, yeah. I don't think you're looking at this game anymore from the front. I'm sorry, I moved away.
Kendre's in there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I assume that they might have just gone to Jordan because they needed the like receiver / rusher at the end of the first half there and everything. I get that. But yeah, I don't think you're looking at this game anymore going, oh, there's some way to win. No, you're just trying to put together some efficient football and give these guys an opportunity to go out there and succeed a little bit.
Yeah. That's a good hookup to Kendre. I mean, I don't think the formula is hard. You just go out and execute. And, of course, you're down 3 touchdowns. So it's practically, might as well be just like last week. You might as well have been down like 35-0 the way it feels. But
yeah. And at this point, too, the other thing is, like, if nothing else, like one of the things that they talked about with Rattler coming in the second half last week was that it wasn't really like an opportunity to really like sit and think about anything. It was just like go in and do. And it's kind of where you are here. Like there's no reason to overthink this. You're down 3 scores. It's in the second half. You're already eliminated from the playoffs. Just go out there and play.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no reason to make it bigger than it is,
Yep.
Here we go.
There's no gain on Kendre. It's now 2nd and 10. Rattler's 5-9 for 64 yards right now. Back to pass on this play. Steps up, flips it forward to Kendre, and tries to go make a block.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, got guts. I'll give you
That's
that.
it, man.
This probably sets you up about a 3rd and 3, maybe 3rd and 4.
I can't wait to see that play. It's going to be so cool.
3rd and 2. 3rd and 2 now. Yeah, that's pretty dope. Mason Tipton sighting.
There you go. Yeah.
It would be something if they tried him. Play clock's at 5. There's a good clock there. Not even close. Oh, man.
Oh, this is 3rd and...
If that was just a bad delivery or what.
Oh, so it's not. It's not a pitch.
All right, incoming punt. Maybe a fake. At least they're trying to figure out what they're doing. A lot of formation shifting, and now it looks like they're actually in punt coverage or punt team. Three, 2, 1, taking a delay of game here. All right, so that goes from 4th and 2 to 4th and 7.
Yeah, it looks like they were trying to set up some kind of a...
Yeah, some type of deception there, but,
Didn't
They do
like
not
the way
fall
that
for it.
yeah, they didn't like the way that Green Bay shifted and matched. And so instead of burning a timeout, just take the false start. It's not going to really impact you at all here.
Yeah. Punting this time for sure. Another good rep for JT.
I want to address this comment from
Which
Nola
one?
DeCali, the newest one, to where it says, "I know y'all are media and Mickey would probably revoke your access, but this is terrible." Let me be really clear about something. It's okay to be a credentialed media member and say that a football team is not playing well.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, we've been saying it all evening. And this myth and idea that like football teams revoke access because you're mean to them is just wild to me. Like we're all grown ups, we all have a job to do and everything. So like I'm not trying to be mean here, but like I wish that there was a way to dispel this myth. And I think the only way to dispel the myth is to start talking about it and start responding to it, as opposed to just like, I think there's a lot of times where like we don't touch comments like this because we don't want to, like, you know what I mean? We don't want to cause any trouble. But like to be just like completely honest with you and to be completely frank with you, like a team is not going to revoke your access because you tell the truth about them, right?
Right.
This is a terrible game. The Saints are playing terrible football. The Saints look like a bad football team right now. They are a bad football team right now. That's all true. And therefore it's okay to say. So I just wanted to dispel this myth that anybody that you see, whether it's John and I, whether it's Kat, whether it's Nick, whether it's anybody out there that you know and love, that like we don't say mean things because we're worried. We're not.
Yeah.
And there's actually absolutely nothing to be worried about as long as we're telling the truth and as long as we're being fair.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to address that because like, and again, not to be like mean. I'm not trying to be like mean to this person or anything like that. I hope that that's clear, but I think it's important for people to understand that like, there's a difference between like being outright like abrasive and incendiary and being fair. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And look, here's the thing. It's just to piggyback off you, like, for somebody who's been covering the team for years and all this other stuff, if you do that because of something that's said, that's really going to look bad on you as an organization. I just tell you that much. Like you do that, I don't think it's going to go the way you want it to go. You know what I mean? And so again, there's just, you got to be able to put your big boy pants on and you take criticism. I mean, everybody in this, if you read the stuff, there is criticism. You know what I mean? Like this is not a thing where you just can't touch anybody. Like I don't buy that either, but you know, there's I don't know. Like I said, my last column, I think I was fair in my assessment of being critical to the team. Now, of course, you can't go in with saying, well, this team sucks and you got to just do this and that. That's not being objective. You're letting your feels dictate how you do action, like your writing and all that. That's not going to get you anywhere. But I think you can be critical as long as you're objective and you can look at the facts and you can look at certain things that have been said. Like there was a piece I did on DA that I just literally took his first comments of every opening statement following a loss. It was a copy paste type job. I didn't say it. I wasn't trying to do anything, but it was just a piece of information to put out there and say, you've been told the same thing over and over and over and over again. You know, and it was just for the reader's sake. So I don't know. I'm with you, Ross. It's a bad stigma that some people put out there. It's just not true.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Packers back it, running the ball down their throat. Joe Brady. I put out something too that he was the leading guy in the odds. He had the highest odds. I think it was 3-1 odds to be him. Seems like a lot of people do like Joe Brady. I don't have any like personal feelings as Joe Brady. I think I say this with all sincerity. I think Joe Brady's success is a lot of how Josh Allen is playing in Buffalo.
Sure.
But Joe Brady's been part of Josh Allen. Like, I think it's been a good tandem, but Josh Allen's just playing insane this year. Like, he's always been good.
Yeah. And stuff. So I don't think I have like personal feelings around it either. I think my question around Joe Brady, which is my question for a lot of these like younger offensive head coaches, is like, are they are they good coaches? Like, are they good leaders? Are they guys that can command a room? Or can they be the quote unquote leader of men type of coach? Do they check that box? And so that's the part that we don't know. That you got to kind of figure that out in interviews and all that kind of stuff. But that's a little bit of the risk of hiring like the young offensive mind is like, do you end up with a guy that's just going to try to be like all the offensive players' friends? Because if you look around the NFL, it doesn't always work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or do you end up with a guy that's going to be, oh no.
I think it may be a arm thing or.
I hope not bad.
Yeah. I mean, he's in some pain. I don't know if I'd say it's anything crazy, but you never know. He's definitely in some pain. I hate seeing that for teams too, just like the injuries.
Yeah.
Like, Detroit has like 20 of them. So, oof, dang.
Yeah, that stinks. Well, they just replaced one running back that's picking up multiple yards. with another.
28 on the ground right now for him. Had a chance. Oh my God. You got him for a loss, and then all of a sudden he picks up the first down and then some. Golly,
man.
My goodness.
I don't know what the record is for most players to average more than 4.5 yards per carry against a team by the end of it. Oh, that's wild.
My gosh.
Yeesh.
Are you looking at the stat sheet? Golly.
Yeah, man. This is insane.
Hold on. I'm just looking at this. Does Packers have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different people who've run the ball?
8 different people have run the ball, and 6 of them have more than 4.5 yards per carry.
That's embarrassing.
I don't know.
That is results on search. Golly.
I just activated something voice activated in this room, and I don't know what it was. I would say there's a question in the chat about like if
I was going to bring it up too. Wait,
okay, no.
Oof. Golly, it looks bad. You talking about keeping it real one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a valid question. I mean, I can't control what the GM's going to say. I can't control it, but the question is, let's say you're in the presser, blames the injuries for the shortcomings of this team. How would you respectfully and professionally disagree? Seemed like you had some opinion there, Ross. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that the misconception is that you have to disagree. I don't know that you might disagree, but you don't have to actively argue. And so instead you can say, is there anything that you would highlight outside of the injuries that you would consider to be sort of conditional or that contributing factors to the way that the season went?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And so you just ask for additional context. It doesn't have to be argumentative and everything. And so like that way you're getting the same information, but you're asking it in a way that doesn't position you as being the one that has a feeling about something. You know what I mean? Which I think is the really important part. Like there's no reason, like I'm in there to like John and I are in there to ask questions, get answers, report those answers. We're not in there to argue with anybody. That's not our job.
Yeah.
Everything. And so that's the way that I would personally handle that, is I would just ask an additional follow-up question. Look at Jeff Nowak on TV. I would just ask an additional question.
Looks like he got that and then some. Yep. 24-0. Yeah, and sorry, I didn't mean to finish cut you off, but you're right. I mean, that's what the thing is. If you're a young journalist out there, aspiring journalist, arguing and cushioning it coming in there like you have a quote unquote agenda is not going to get you what you want, right? Like that is
Right.
not how you go in there and do it. And the thing is, you can ask it how you want it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you're going to get the answer either. Now, I think, for instance, a thing is saying, okay, if you blame the injuries, I think a valid question is, well, if the injuries were such a problem, the soft tissue problems were a thing that went back to training camp, why did it take you until November to introduce this activation period? Like, why was it so much more reactive than proactive when you saw that these were on the increase? Because this wasn't new information. This is something that went back to training camp. So it's like,
Right.
I think there's a way to ask that is also okay. What gives? You know what I mean? But I don't think you're ever going to be like, well, we just didn't really care about it or anything. Like, you know, you're not going to get an argument about that. Like, that's not professional. That's not what our job is either. Like, to go in there and argue with them. You know what I mean?
No, I think people have like this sort of like glorified idea of what it's like based on like television or like Hollywood's interpretation of like what media is like and stuff like that. And it's just like, oh no, I'm not trying to say that you were intending to argue. I'm saying you don't have to argue.
Right.
Like it's the way that I think and I go through the process is like, is this going to be something that's going to be looked at as argumentative and therefore get the fans no answer? Or can I find a way to ask this question in such a way that's constructive, that shows curiosity, and then therefore gives the fan, the listener, the viewer, the opportunity to be able to like learn something. Yeah.
And I mean, whatever they say, you may not even care. Like, I mean, you may not even believe them. Take it for face value. Like, I mean, to get it, they will give you an answer. Doesn't mean it's necessarily the one you're going to like. And it's also not necessarily the one that also portrays the truth, really. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's gamesmanship involved, like, especially when it's during a season and there's still games to be played and everything like that. Like, there's a lot of that kind of stuff that goes through. So yeah, no, my bad. I wasn't trying to say that you were being argumentative. I was saying I try to think about, okay, what is the thing that would sound argumentative, and then try to figure out my way through that.
Yeah.
KT, what's good?
Golly, Joe Buck taking shots at the Saints. Saints have to get the ball back because that's what the rules dictate.
Yeesh.
Look, there's nothing to argue there. I mean,
there's no redeeming quality to this game so far for New Orleans.
Oh, absolutely not. There's really no good takeaways. I guess
Rico Payton and JT Gray meeting at the punt returner is the best thing that's happened.
And that one connection to Foster early on in a good Kendra run. That's probably all I can remember. That dart by Rattler, that was probably the best throw I think we'll probably see tonight.
Yeah, he's had a couple of nice throws. He had that good one over on that left sideline during the early part of the 2-minute drill, I think it was too. The one that got fumbled a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they let the clock run out.
Yeah.
He said, I can't believe I decided to watch this at work, kill my battery for what? I hope you're not talking about the stream, man.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully you're getting paid for it while you're doing it. So
yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Oof. Kendra just got stonewalled in his tracks. Dang, you lost a yard on it. That's been another problem with this team this year. They'll have a good play, and then on the following one they'll lose the yards back. You know what I mean? Like there's just no consistency. And look, I don't know that that's all a Clint Kubiak thing, but like you could see people miss their blocks on that assignment.
Yeah, so I think there's the missed block part too, but I would venture to say that I need to go. Oh wait, I can. Hold on. I just want to go and look at like what their second down run, like their second down tendency is, because I feel like their second down tendency is like heavily to run. I feel like they run all the time on second down, but I might be making that up.
Yeah, good decision for Rattler there when just took off and picked it up with his feet.
Yeah, that's what he said he want to do.
And they get an extra 5 for something too. Legal use of the hands. Packers are serious Super Bowl contender in your opinion. I think it's the Lions. Lions are probably the team to beat right now. I think the Eagles could be maybe. Vikings obviously could be as well. I wouldn't necessarily sleep on the Commanders. The NFC South doesn't have a chance in hell. I'll just say that. Run to the right outside, lose yards. Good job.
Yikes.
But I think the Packers are a team that you pay attention to. I mean, if they can lean on the ground game like they're doing tonight, that can go a long way. But I don't think they're going to be playing games at Lambeau. That also is another thing too. Highlighting the Saints freezer. 10-degree Saints freezer.
70 117. Yeah,
That's a good throw. Good hook up to Juwan there.
So I guess it's not too bad, but 60% of the time on 2nd and 6 or less, the Saints have run the football. So it's a little bit of a tendency.
It's a good catch by Juwan there. I know he hasn't had the best year. And then look, you followed up with a sack. You take one step forward and you take 5 steps back. Like, that's just insane. Oh my gosh. 7-yard loss. Now it's 2nd and 17.
2nd and 17. Their tendency 2nd and 11 and more is to pass 80% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, there's no separation there. I mean, there's literally nowhere for Rattler to put that ball.
Yeah. No pocket to step up to because the interior of the offensive line got pushed and they got beat around the edge. Jeez, man. The interior defender walked both Ruiz and Lemieux back several yards on that sack. There was nowhere. They were trying to set up the pocket. They were trying to get the edge rushers on the outside to over arc or over pursue. Oh gosh.
3rd and 17 now.
3rd and 17. Do you go to another screen pass?
Wow. What a play.
Oh,
jeez. Okay. Oh my gosh. Y'all got to watch this one. That was a great play by Rattler. I thought he was going to get sacked on that one, but he finds Pettis to convert a 3rd and 17.
3rd and 17. Good night.
Yeah. I mean, look, hey, ain't too many. He just like jumped up in the air. That was impressive. Okay.
All right, here we go. I'm about to see it. Little 6-man rush. Oh, yeah.
Another good throw. He's picked. Gosh.
Oh, no.
2 turnovers now for him. Jeez.
Yep.
Just when you get it.
Both come when they have momentum, too. Like that little jump man throw.
Yeah. I don't know what he saw in that one.
Wasn't there. No. Yeah.
Wasn't there.
God. Yeah, that was a bad decision. He had nowhere to go with that ball.
Yeah.
Because it looked like Foster had a defender over the top of him too.
Yeah. No, he's well covered, that's for sure.
Tried to put some touch on it, but yeah, defender underneath, defender over the top. I mean, if you're gonna try that throw, I guess you go to the pylon, but then you got to put a lot more under it than that.
Yeah, you had a shot there, but golly, man, oh man. I don't think I've ever seen a team shoot themselves in the foot so many times. It's just like it's wild how this keeps just being a thing. Oh my lord! Got more people joining the stream, so shout out to the new people that are here and people that have been here. Man, oh man. Crazy. Their best drive, and then they just, Let's see what he's looking at. They have Wilson across the middle, it looks like, and it's just, oh my goodness. Not a dang thing's going right. Uh-oh. Thick pick. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
We
Colin
got a
almost
thick
had the
pick?
pick again. Oh, man. Oh, no. We almost had the thick pick.
Oh, not even the pick, though. Oh, man. Rough.
Oh, gosh. They're fighting over the ball.
Oh.
And that's the other thing. This team can't catch a break. Goodness.
Jeez. Dang, Colin is livid. Understandably so. He lives to have the ball in his hands.
I know, right?
Oh, man. That was
one of the best plays of 2024. Oh, man. I mean, that's a great play. He finishes it like a latte comes over, and it's like, oh, you had it. Gosh.
Jeez. Now, okay, so now here's the thing, right? So 3rd and 6 turns into a 3rd and 1 touchdown drive. 3rd and 6 turns into a 3rd and 1 touchdown drive. Then you almost get this interception. Now you don't have the pick. So what if this turns into a touchdown drive? It's just yet another missed opportunity by the Saints defense. We got Taylor Swift telling her friends that Colin Saunders played running back in high school. I love it.
That's going to be the 2024 epitaph of the Saints is too many missed opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Boop, cut back in.
I mean, I think at this point now, I'm just wondering, is like, are they even going to put points up on the board before the game?
Yeah, let me see when the last time the Saints were shut out was.
I think it was San Francisco 13-0.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, no, you're right. It was more recent than I remember.
They've had plenty of these records fall, like things that they had done in the past, these winning streaks, and just. Christian Watson won't return. Josh Jacobs being held out practically.
Yeah.
There's no reason to put him back in the game. So in the third quarter, 24-0 Packers. And I think at this point, we're just wondering, can the Saints actually put a point up on the board before it's all said and done?
Jordan Reed from ESPN tweeted, Saints 2025 draft positional needs. Then did it like a bullet point list, and it just says everything.
Oh boy, oh boy. Well, again, good a time as any. Say, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button on Second and Saints YouTube. We're gonna have a fun off season, Ross. I mean, I know it's kind of like
Yeah, man.
gutter trash and bad right now, but like there's so much to talk about when we get into the off season. Like, I mean, literally between where the team goes and the head coaching spot, who do they keep? That coaching search should be fun. I think they got to cast a pretty wide net. I don't know. I'd say I'd put a number on it, but I think they need to at least bring in 5-6 people like they did last time, and then obviously the draft prep is going to be big. I think it's going to be huge. Free agency, what they do and how they're going to get under the cap again. They still got to figure out what they're going to do with Ryan Ramczyk. Got to figure out what they're going to do with Derek Carr. Like, I just think that the first domino to fall is obviously going to be who their head coach is going to be. And then they got to get in that draft prep mode with the Senior Bowl and the combines right after. So it's going to come quick.
Yeah.
Almost a month away, a little bit over a month away from Senior Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, and we should say too, don't expect the Saints to have a head coach by the Senior Bowl.
Sure. Yeah. No.
And don't be surprised by that, because that's not a bad thing. That's okay. That's a fine thing to happen. They're gonna basically, like, nobody makes it. No head coach is making a decision about guys they're gonna draft at Senior Bowl weekend.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the scouts.
And everybody meets with everybody at the Senior Bowl, just so you know.
Right.
Like, just because the Saints meet with a prospect doesn't necessarily mean jack. Just so you know, everybody meets with everybody. Some just have more time with the others. Like, that's usually something that happens. But
yeah. One team even tried to meet with me. No, I'm just joking. They saw me and they were
Ross
like,
scouting report to himself.
Slow and a little dumb. How about that? There's my scouting report. Hard-headed, stubborn, a little stupid, but yet overly confident. And I'm not sure that's a great. I'm not sure that's a great blend of things.
Hey, whatever. Cameron's got
looks like someone. Looks like someone who had athleticism in his past, perhaps.
In past prime. Hey, what's your 40 time these days?
Yeah, slow.
Slow.
I'd tell you, but I'd get hurt around yard 10.
Literally tear your hamstring in the process or something.
I'm saying. I woke up with my left side hurting probably about 2 years ago. It still hurts. That Pete Werner? No, it was
Ridgeway.
John Ridgeway with the batted pass. I saw Pete Werner run away after the pass.
Gets him off the field. Presumably, I mean, he gets him off the field.
We'll see.
Well, Packers staying on for 4th and 5, so I mean, why not?
Shoot. Let me see what their average is per play right now. Their per play average yield 5.8 yards per play.
Yeah, 5.8, 4.9 on third down. They got 302 net yards. Yeah, I don't think they're going to actually go for this, but
might as well see if you can get another neutral zone infraction, though.
Yeah, they're not biting on this one, though.
One of the things that I do at LouisianaSports.net for my gamers is that I'll do like a run list of like the biggest plays by the Saints.
Yeah.
And what do I put? Maybe the
Boston
jump pass.
Row.
Yeah.
For jump pass to Dante Pettis. I don't know. I'm thinking
I can put an almost interception.
Maybe 2 plays of actual 20 yards or more, maybe tonight, if that.
Yeah. The only I usually like tweet out.
I ran into the punter too.
Oh Lord.
Golly, if it's running into the punter, it's
Oh, if it's running the punter, they'll be all right. Isn't that only 5 yard? Yeah, because they took the delay a game on 4th and 5.
That's true. Yeah. You're right. Oh, kicking team got a tripping call.
Oh wow.
Okay, and they're replaying 4th down. All right. Lucas Van Ness, one of our draft guys, huh?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, he was a big time. He was a draft crush for a lot of Saints fans.
Oh yeah, he tripped Jalen Ford.
Oh
He just
no.
like stuck his leg out.
Oh yeah, that wasn't even. That was egregious.
So now 4th and 25. Looks like they're sending a block. They're gonna rush this. Still don't get there. Taysom would have been there, maybe. Not a good punt. I mean, Saints, and they put together a drive and finish it. I don't know. Put your thoughts in the comments below. Will the Saints get go for it?
Yeah, if this is another turnover, we're doing F's in the chat, man.
Yeah.
I'll try to embed tweeted videos of the of the big plays, and the only one that the Saints account has tweeted out so far was the throw to Foster.
Yeah.
I bet Saints Film Room tweeted it though.
Yeah. Somebody said that my video wasn't showing on Twitter. Does anybody can confirm that?
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
you're
Turn it off for a second. I don't know what I got to do to turn it back on offhand, but
yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's just a black box. You're blacker than me for the first time ever. All of a sudden, you're the black one.
Well, let's see.
Hey, give me credit. All right, we're 2 hours,
Yeah,
two and a half hours into this thing, and that's my first such joke. My first such joke.
Let me try. I don't know if I'm still.
See, drum roll, please. Brrr. Yeah, there he is.
Okay, maybe I'm back now. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, you're there.
I'm trying to see.
That's funny. I thought it was just mine. I thought it was just my computer. I was like, oh,
yeah,
I should have just went on YouTube and looked.
Yeah, I'm watching the Twitter feed right now, so just looking to see if it comes out. Hey, yeah, that worked. Just glad saying somebody told me. Shoot, I'm sitting here looking at myself in StreamYard here, so I don't know. It might have been just a Twitter thing or what, but
yeah, maybe
it's all good. Oh boy. Oh man.
Oh, I can do the 3rd down run by Kendre. The jump pass was the 3rd and 17, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
All right, 1st and 10. Rattler from the gun. Pressure there. Gets to Foster or Pettis, not Foster. That they don't look like. The 1st down to start.
So they don't look alike. They, in fact, do not.
Well, thank you, Blair. Stumbled upon great channel and greatest host. Worst team since 1999.
Oh,
I don't know.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Thank you, V.
Worst team since 99. I don't know. That's debatable. Second and 10 now. A little bit of swing out to the outside of Jordan Mims. Picks up a couple.
Yeah, Jordan Mims getting a lot of work in this one, huh?
Yeah, finally gets his chance after, forever.
All right. There we go. And I got the jump pass. There we go. All right. I got 3.
Can you put almost plays in there? Like, the thick almost pick?
I thought about it, but I was like, nah, I should stick with plays that actually happened.
Boy, they have brought some pressure tonight. Like
they're not playing
that pressure. I mean, I think it's the right call with a rookie quarterback. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And that's how they were like 28th in pressure, but they've gotten better towards the last few games. And one of the reasons why has been because of the simulated pressure that they've been bringing, kind of that second level, third level pressure. According to PFF, Rattler's been under pressure for 9 of his dropbacks, 39.1%. That was before that 3rd and 8 play, though.
Oh, boy. Well, the good news, guys, is there's not, guys and gals, there's not a lot of time left in this game. So
It's true.
Oh, man.
Something I wrote in my halftime piece is that the worst part about this game so far is there's still 30 minutes left.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I don't even have good notes from this game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
So, John, around this time, what I'm usually doing in the press box is that I'm starting to kind of go back and review the notes that I took throughout the game and trying to take a look at, all right, what question should I be asking in the post-game presser? How do you kind of, is there anything you do in the fourth quarter before kind of getting started with everything?
Yeah, so it's a good question too. Honestly, it's like, it depends on the angle because, I always keep a live thread going throughout the game. And then I usually do like a what we learned or takeaways piece or, do a post-game presser. So I'll start prepping some things on that. But, obviously getting a look at how this game flowed a lot of times. I usually use that game thread as a springboard to say, okay, excuse me.
Bless you. Goodness gracious.
But I usually use the notes that I take during the game in the thread so I can go back and reference some of that stuff too. It's kind of like a mental note for me, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, I think you use it as a springboard for things we learned and what to preface and what to really hit on, especially if there's big plays in the game that you're like, hey, that 3rd down in the second quarter when y'all did this, whatever the case may be. So more of a dual meaning than just doing a live thread, I guess, if you'd say that.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of times that I'll go to social media too and just see, okay, what are the things that like the fan base is curious about?
Yeah.
And how can I ask some of the questions that will give that information? Which usually aligns with like whatever the biggest things are already.
Sure.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But it is a good way to just kind of like get a gauge of like, all right, what are the questions that people want answered? And ask some version of that question.
Sure. Like I think like last week with that end of the 3rd quarter debacle with the kick field goal, like everybody knew that was a thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, they stopped him for a negative play. Good job, finally.
What do we want to do after the game today? Does this serve as our post game?
Yeah, it might actually. I don't know. I'm going to turn this into a pot. That's a good question.
I don't know.
I don't know that there's not much to say about it other than what we have said. So I don't know. We're going to see how this goes. And
I want to do something for the listener side.
Yeah.
and stuff. So
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we're not there for Rizzy. We're gonna have to tune in, via the interwebs, but can't imagine there's too much to say after this one too. Hey, another negative play. 3rd down and 12.
what is this?
They got 11 minutes to get points. So
Yeah, it's a race to get on the scoreboard now.
yeah, right. But yeah, we could do something afterwards. So that's fine.
I'm down.
Definitely. I don't know if we have to do live, but we can record whatever works.
You can watch Rizzy, and
Yeah.
then let me go live over at Locked On.
Okay.
Make sure I get that timely, and then that'll give you time to write, and then we can jump on and record something after that.
Golly.
Oh no,
3rd
John.
and 12, you hit a deep shot and it flips the field.
Oh no, John.
Cannot make it up.
Who's in
37
cover?
yards to Jaden Reed.
Oh,
Golly.
oh.
Gets
They went
behind
trips again,
Byron.
didn't they?
Kool-Aid's not barely around there. Like, oh my gosh.
Not really trips. I guess it's trips, right? It's a 4x1.
Jeez. Woo.
Did Jaden Reed draw? Yeah, so Jaden Reed being lined up on the inside where he was, he ended up getting his initial coverage in the middle of the field by DeMario. Then it was pass off to Tyrann Mathieu, and then he looked like he was able to get past Mathieu. Let's see, here we go. Yeah, he was just able to get past Mathieu. McKinstry was trying to get down there too, but tough catch too. Wow. Reed, is what we do drink? I'm kind of thinking drink. When you and I were talking about what we do after the game.
Oh, yeah. Well, Another wide open.
I actually think this is a really good example of why, like, the importance of finding a way to get younger on this roster, like why it is actually important. I mean, you look at Green Bay, like these are all young guys. These are all young guys that are going into a second year together, basically, and stuff. And you can see just sort of like the anticipation, the ball location. Jordan Love knows where to put the football for those receivers. The receivers know what to expect and how the ball comes out of his hands. Like it's all the timing of the routes and stuff like that. Like it's all there. And that's what happens when you have and that's what happened with the Saints when they kind of went into their golden era. It was a lot of young guys that built and stacked years together with a really good coach.
Yeah. Michael Thomas, Von Bell, Sheldon Rankins. I mean, trying to think, Trey Hendrickson, obviously everybody in that 17 draft. I mean, you put them in there, but like Von Bell was David Onyemata.
Go back to 06 and it's the same thing, right? Like they signed Drew and then they were able to build to their draft that year too. You get Reggie Bush, 2nd overall pick, all that kind of stuff. Like, it's a big part of it.
I mean, they had a right mix. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't too old, wasn't too young. It was, it was all those things. But oh my goodness gracious, this is brutal, just brutal.
Stay strong.
I just don't know. Again, I just don't know how you sell. I don't know how you sell Rizzy after this one too. It's like, you know what I mean? Like this is just. Like, I know it's not his fault, but again, the preparation and everything that went into this game is just, it's just not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. This is a really tough one for him because this is what you look like versus one of the NFL's best teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
and you're still in square one. You don't look any better against a better team. And again, it looks like, again, the Commanders game from before, like fool's gold. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
So Packers going to add a field goal to this, probably. Brandon McManus for 46. Nails it right down the middle. 27-0. 7:13 left to go in this clunker. I don't know if I call it a clunker. It's like getting hung over on bourbon. I don't know. Maybe it's like that. I have no idea.
Yeah. Good news is that the Saints defense has only let up 6 points in the second half.
Yeah. Get those moral victory trophies ready. The good news is there's 2 games left in the season. The bad news is there's 2 games left in the season.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a rough stretch.
I mean, and again, if they lose to the Raiders next week, woo-hoo, I think Carr's going to try to hurry himself back for that one.
I would if I was him.
Yeah, not hurry himself back. Like I don't know. I mean, I was told that by somebody that they'd be really shocked if he's back. Like somebody actually.
Yeah, I've heard the same.
And so I don't know what the.
But I know he wants to be out.
You talked about this on the show the other day about, why would he even come back? And I mean, you put it pretty plainly, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Go back to beat the Raiders, man. Like that's exactly what I would be doing if I were him. I'm petty though. I don't know. He seems to be a less petty person than I am.
Sure.
But that's what I would be doing. I'd be trying to come back.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, sorry, y'all. I'm yawning. Should have made me some coffee at halftime.
I thought about that. I thought about making some. I was like, nah, I'll be all right.
Somebody said burn
Mike,
the ground.
Mike would be proud of me. I said no to coffee. Somebody tell Mike Triplett that Ross Jackson said no to coffee, and he announced it on stream. Mike would be very happy for me. Don't like a bunch of people tweet at him though. Y'all organize it among yourself. Don't bother that man like that. He working.
Dang. Schefter already tweeted out with the Monday night's win over the Saints, the Packers clinch the postseason. 7-13.
Oh boy.
I mean, here's the thing though. This is national TV embarrassment. And so again, for this team, it's got to make you wonder from the top down, do you have what it takes? I'm just being real. Like, you have everything that you can definitively say this direction, this team, where it's going. Do you have the right people in place? Just a thought.
Yeah.
So, and again, don't mean it as a shot. Don't mean to discredit work that's already been done. But again, it's just a valid question that needs to be asked.
I think we got to remember that there's like a ton of ego in the NFL, though. Like, I do think that there are going to be people. I do think, you know what I'm saying? I do think there's going to be, because the idea is that, like, all right, you're not trying to sell this product. You're trying to sell a vision of what the future product can be. And then if you can do that effectively, which isn't that hard to do. I know it sounds ridiculous, and I'm sure people are scoffing hearing me say it, but that's really what the strategy is, right? You sell the vision with that person at the helm. And you get the right person at the right time. You get that person to believe, yeah, I can fix this. That's usually.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the problem is that that's part of this whole entire, thing that they've said. I said this at the top of the broadcast that, they've convinced themselves because this is a crappy division, we can do enough to compete, but you can't even get into the ballpark. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't even get into that space. You're not even getting there. You know what I mean? Right. So it's just, that's the biggest problem here. It's Michael said, this isn't a clunker. It's a swirly.
Jeez.
Yeah. And the thing is with these injuries, even if you had Alvin Kamara in this game, I don't think it's changed much. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't. I can't tell you that there's one single piece that says, oh, they got them, then they're going to win,
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look, a holding call.
Woof,
on
man.
Lucas Patrick. Man, oh man, wiping out good plays with bad plays.
Yeah.
Time
That
honored
run,
tradition.
that
Yeah.
run happened off a bad snap too.
Yep. Oh boy. So now 2nd and 20. Is that Chris Olave I saw on the sideline
Hold
behind
on,
Riz?
watching. Probably he's been traveling with the team.
Yeah, he was there at the game last week, so that's what I was wondering.
He went to New York
Cedric
too.
Wilson Jr.
Yeah, that's him. Pretty sure it was him.
Yeah, that's him. I see him now. It's definitely
Yeah.
Chris Olave.
That's good to see.
Yeah. Do you think there's a chance we even see him? I don't think there's any chance there's no reason I need to see him.
No,
I don't know why he would come back to play. You know what I mean?
no,
At this point,
no.
nobody would blame him either. You know what I mean?
No.
Like 2 games to left. What are you putting out there?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
why?
use the 21-day practice. I think that the fact that the 21-day practice window opened up with 3 weeks left in the season is perfect.
Yeah.
Gives him an opportunity to practice. You know, I think there'll be some days where he actually ends up maybe seeing some work and getting some reps, stuff like that. But I don't think that he comes back for a game. I don't think he should.
Yeah. I'd
But
be very
look,
shocked.
that's me. That's me putting my personal perspective on him, though. So we don't really know, right? Like he
exactly.
wants to be back. There's no doubt about that. But
Yeah. Going forward on 4th and 7.
Fourth and 7.
Good pressure, going deep. Looks like it's in triple coverage, and he's almost picked again.
Oof. I mean, I guess you could say
544 until you're shut out again.
I guess you could say that like you're just trying to make a play, trying to put the ball somewhere, but
Flag comes in.
Not going to be a place to put it.
Well, if you bet on the spread, you're looking pretty good here.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
so good on the over. If you took the under, you're good for sure. Packers picked up an unnecessary roughness penalty. So Packers keep the ball since it's after the play. They just got 15 yards that they're going to start backwards from.
Yeah, they just get an extra 15 yards of stats to gain here. Oof. Man. All right, I'm going to start writing my gamer stuff, but I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to cut my camera.
Yeah, you're good.
Get in a comfortable writing position.
Game sucked, and
man, rough. Just rough.
Shout out recliners, man. I need one of these in my house.
Recliners are awesome. Yes, I agree.
Oh, what was McCoy's actual injury designation?
Elbow injury.
Elbow, thank you.
Oh boy, oh boy. Hang in there, everybody. It's almost over. Oh, Reed. Stop it.
Oh.
He said, let me get in a comfortable riding position, turns off the camera and removes the pants.
You're assuming I was... Never mind, I'm just joking.
Stop it. Get help.
Listening to Ross type is way more entertaining. Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm a very loud typer. Catherine. So Catherine Terrell, myself, and John all sit next to each other in the back corner of the media room, and we're three of the loudest typers in the room at the same time. It is a storm when we're all in there writing together.
Yeah, it is. I always thought I type pretty fast because I'm about like the 100 words, but Catherine, she's like
Oh,
a
different ball
ninja.
game.
I
Different ball
mean,
game.
she is like, I don't know how to describe it. So
Yeah, try more words. Tough sledding.
Oh my God, there's a whole bunch of elves in the crowd.
'Tis the season.
Bye, buddy. Hope we find your dad. Oh my God, it looks like Mike McCarthy. What the hell?
Oh. Then they used to have some like Sean Payton. Like, oh wow.
Almost
That's
like
why I
the
used to dress
Dittos.
up like, yeah, people used to do all that.
Still getting gashed for 8 yards of carry. Golly, man.
Oh man, rough.
Packers 6 yards a gain or 6 yards a play. Just had an 8-yard run. 184 on the ground, 182 passing. Saints have not even hit 169 total net yards yet. Or 170, excuse me. 410 on third down. 32-59 in time of possession to New Orleans is 21-17. Ew. Gross. Oh, now Jordan Love's out of the game.
Oh, yeesh.
Yeah, it's Malik Willis in the game. Remember that Senior Bowl phenom thing that we
Yeah.
had went through? Oh boy, yeah. Like I said, I don't know if we should put the Saints prime time next year much with
Yeah, it's
showing
gonna be a
like
little-
this, man.
It's gonna be- well, they'll get at least one
golly,
primetime game on a Thursday
lucked
night.
out again. What's that?
So they'll get at least one primetime game because
Yeah, they get one, maybe two. They'll get a Thursday night game. You know that.
Yeah. I'm about to see the almost play here. Oh my goodness. Thank goodness for them that somebody got. Was that Colin? He got his hands up for that one?
Yeah. Colin got his hands up, tipped it, and Wicks almost had that.
Boy, because he was gone. Like if he gets that to him in stride, I think it would have been a little bit behind him, but oof.
4 minutes and 13 seconds left. Doc, that's wishful thinking. Getting some points before it's over with. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what
I
this
think you
game
get a
is
field
about.
goal or something. Golly. Starting to get cold in here. Oh, you're up in you're not in New Orleans, but it's gotten cold where you're at, right?
Oh yeah, it's I don't know what it is right now, but it was like
Oh, that's just disrespectful. Golly. 4th and 2 pass. Willis. And Packers are in the red zone.
oof,
Or actually, they're inside the 10 on a
Oof.
4th and 2.
ugh.
That is pretty disrespectful. But you know what? You got to stop it too.
That's it.
Jaden Reed on Ugo Amadi. 1st and goal.
Yikes.
It's crazy. You're up 27 or 27 and you run a play like that. Like that's That was something. Inside the 5 now.
Oh no.
357, 356. Oh boy. Yeah, if you're rooting for the draft and stuff, this is good.
Yeah, you won't see an immediate improvement, but this will help. You won't see an immediate improvement in draft position, but this will help over the course of the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. To the 1 now. Boy, oh boy. This team needs so much help.
Yeah, man. And I get it, like they're without a lot of pieces, everything like that. I understand that, but I don't know. Like, I don't know how much the
Man,
pieces that
touchdown.
yeah. I don't know how much the pieces that they are missing right now would actually solve this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 33-0.
Ugh.
Tell you what, it's extremely embarrassing for the Saints.
I think this is the first time, if I remember correctly, it would be like the first time that the Saints have ever been shut
This
out
might
on
be the
Monday Night
worst
Football.
blowout. Yeah, this might be their worst blowout in I don't know how many years. I mean, they lost to the Dolphins 20-0, right? And then the San Francisco game was 13-0. And then besides that, they've never lost anything like this. They had a 34-7 game, I think, in Sean Payton's tenure. That was a Monday night game in 2011 or 20. What year was that? 2013. That Monday night game that they got the crap blown out of them.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, this is bad. This is bad, dog.
Bad dog. So bad, dog, you might want to say rough. Because it's rough. Rough. I'm workshopping it. I'm thinking about it. I'll find out.
Just absolutely embarrassing all around. Well, again, you guys are still here in the stream, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for still coming through. My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, heck, this is good to see. Keep the plane money. So it's a 34-0. You get a bus ticket and keep the plane money for the salary cap. It don't work like that. You remember when we started 2-0? Yeah, I do remember those days. Seems like a mirage. Rattler still in. Low snap. Handoff to Mims. Gets about 9.
By the way, I love the fact that they're keeping Rattler in for this.
Yeah.
And
No,
that
he needs to learn.
Yep, get him reps, get him out there, get the opportunity to like continue to build on that. And then you know what? Figure out what this feels like. Like this sucks. Now never put yourself in this position again. You know what I mean? Like not never put yourself in this position because it wasn't solely his purpose, but like he will never want to be in this position ever again.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I dare say the entire team, but this is,
of course, yeah. But like for the young rookie quarterback, like Jordan Mims getting work today. My goodness. So much work.
Whew, man. Social media's got to be fun right now. Yeah, look, we knew Packers were going to win this game, but I don't know if we saw this coming. Like to just get completely blown out 34-0. Like this is like I don't really have much on this one. Like, usually I'm a positive guy, positive in a lot of things, and for the life of me, I can barely find anything positive in this game. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a thing. Season cannot end fast enough. And the sad part is I don't think this helps their draft stock one bit. You know what I mean?
It doesn't. No, they stay exactly where they're at.
Yeah.
Because everybody behind them at 9, 8, and 7 are all 4 and 11. They're going to drop to 5 and 10.
Yeah.
They're just going to stay at 10.
I mean, I think if let's see, what are the Raiders right now? Sorry, I'm going to be swapping off of this horrible box score right now. Raiders are 3 and 12. Yeah. So even if the Raiders beat you, it doesn't really help you too much, right?
No.
You got a bunch of 3 and 12 teams. I mean, New York maybe might be a team that you look at. Maybe Chicago, maybe Carolina, but oof. No bueno. Man, oh man. Just unbelievable. Well, I say that, but it's still actually believable. Like, let's not kid ourselves. This is believable.
Right.
Just, yeah. God, the comments. Oh, 2 minutes left. Saints on the 34, 1st and 10, all three. Saints were shut out once in the last 369 games. I don't think that's right. I don't think that is right, ESPN.
Well, when they got shut out by San Francisco, what was the last time that they got shut out after that?
That was the Dolphins game, 2020.
Didn't they win that game 20-0?
Dolphins won, yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they said something about 369 games. And like, what? No, they didn't get shut out in that game. They had a field goal, right? 20-3. That's what it was.
No, yeah, because you talking about the one in. Are you talking about the one in London?
No. I'm talking about
the COVID game. Yeah. 20-0.
That was the Ian Book game. They didn't get shut out. They got a field goal. So I misspoke there.
All good. Yeah, the 20-0 game.
Shut out.
Yeah, the 20-0 Saints and Dolphins game.
Games. Check your math, ESPN.
It's a lot of games.
Jerry, good night. Thanks for hanging in with us.
Good night, Jerry. Appreciate you, homie.
Yep. And everybody that's in this thread. Really do. Second and 10. Rattler back to pass. Under pressure. Gets away. A little bit high off Mims' hands. And now it's 3rd down and 10. That has got to be a very dejected locker room after this one.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say they go at each other's throats or anything, but at this point, it's just, I don't know, 3rd and 10. Rattler from the gun, back to pass. Checks it down out in the flats to Mims, picks up a few yards. He's going to be well short of the first down. And it'll be 4th and 6, 4th and 5. Clock at 1:18. Lucas Patrick is hurt, and it looks like he's in big pain. That is not particularly looking good. Landon Young is coming in. It looks like left knee for Lucas Patrick.
Yikes. With a minute and 18 seconds left in the game.
Oh man, I think they just put in looks like they brought in the Aircast.
Oof.
Or somebody has one on hand at least. Oh, he got up. He's walking off very gingerly, but that's at least positive. But let's see what happened on a replay. Oh, God bless. That does not look good. Immediately got hit from the side. Oh, boy. Hopefully it's not ACL related just because of, those suck.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oof.
All right. 4th and 6. Landon's at left tag guard now. Last chance for the Saints. Rattler finds nobody. Tried Kevin Austin Jr. Incomplete. Packers are going to take over, and the Saints are going to be shut out 34-0, folks.
34-0 shutout for the New Orleans Saints. This is just rock bottom.
Yep.
Absolute rock bottom. Oh, that almost got picked off too. Everything that the Saints said that they wanted to do going into this game, they wanted to win the turnover battle, lost it. They wanted to improve on 3rd down, 4 of 11 in this game. They wanted to string together long drives and control some time of possession. They possessed the ball for 22 minutes and 45 seconds and had a long drive of 9 plays. I mean, just awful. Kneel down. Malik Willis came in the game. All bad.
Another kneel down. This will be the end of it all. Well, 34-0, folks. That will do it. Yeah. That is not what I expected coming into this game. And, well, this is where it's at. So the game's over with. Ross and I are going to hang out and go. Actually, we'll not hang out, but we're going to go hang out with Darren Rizzi and see what he has to say after this one. And then we will be probably doing a show to cap off the night. But I just want to say thank you so much for making this stream experience really awesome.
This was a lot of fun.
I can't believe this many people joined up and all this other stuff, and we were on for this long. But hey, really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button. But John Hendricks, on behalf of Ross Jackson, signing out for Second and Saints. We'll talk to you very soon. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate your support.
Love you.